What's happening, everybody? Josh from the lab here. Good to see you. Good to be with you. All right, I didn't do it again. Apparently, you want to loop your intro a million times. It's like stupid. Okay, sorry about that. Off to a roaring start. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Good to see you. And we got a guest. If you're just hopping over from the interview room, and I know a lot of you are, the hardest working man out there right now. What's up, Dr. Carey? How are you?
I have no idea. I'm exhausted.
I know. Well, that's what I was saying. If you're tired, I mean, I get it, but I think you're always kind of tired, aren't you?
It's not a normal kind of tired. I can't explain it. You have to understand that to do the kind of work that I do with patients, and then in terms of talking to the media and law enforcement, whatever, where I have to sort of imagine myself into crimes and sort of try to think like the offender and all that. These things take a great deal of energy that it isn't like the energy you use up with regular work, because right. It's like it leaches your it leaches your soul, and
Sure.
And then empathy leaches you like vampirically, and it's a lot, when it's all over. I feel like a limp rag when these things end. And right now we're in the heat of these rapidly developing kind of things in this Guthrie story, which is, and what's been interesting for anybody who's been watching me with you and Chris and Bob and John and Mike on the interview is you can sort of watch a thought process evolving. It's I've loved working with them because it's almost like a master class in people with a lot of experience thinking out loud and then watching as the thought process is shaped. It isn't a thing where we're sort of saying, here's the clear picture of what we think happened. Oh, wait, we're wrong. It's more like we're in real time, you're seeing the thought process. And, after developments today, we've had some expansion in our thinking. I've, sort of adjusted some ideas, and now I'm sort of thinking slightly differently. So it's kind of intriguing.
Right.
I only know that, I just hope there's closure for this family one way or another, because this is just too much. I mean, it's like traumatically grueling.
Oh yeah. What is this? Day 10 or 11? And
Brutal.
the thing about that is that they have somebody detained, a person of interest detained. We don't know much about them. I know that for some reason his mother-in-law
Right. just sort of said like he's not the type.
Yeah, right. Mother-in-law. And we will play that for a minute too, but let's let me just play this really quick, Dr. Gary, and then I want to get your thoughts on, because I know what basically how this started this morning was there were videos released, or still shots, and then videos of the guy kind of tinkering around the Nest camera that was put out today, which was awfully fast that they have detained somebody. But
Continue following breaking news out of Tucson, Arizona. The FBI just releasing.
First of all, imagine an 84-year-old woman who lives by herself coming into contact with that.
Right. And the jury is out on whether whatever happened to her actually happened there or somewhere else, and there was a sort of staging. But tonight, when Chris showed the wider shot, if you saw in the interview room, the wider shot of the path of blood droplets, like going out toward to the driveway, it became more real for me that it didn't have that stagey look, like you just stood and poured some drops of blood in a little circle somewhere.
Right.
It looks a little more realistic, like somebody was brought out of that house, which I think is interesting. But yeah, this is a scary looking guy, but obviously a dope. I mean, trying to cover a camera with, bits of flour, and wearing that kind of amateur hour cosplay criminal outfit that looks like he, grabbed stuff off the shelf at home to put together. This is not a professional, brilliant criminal.
No.
And if you saw, did you watch the interview room, Joe?
I listened. I was jogging, but I was listening.
Oh, okay. Well, I think a lot of people are running tonight. But
Smile,
right. But you you get the sense, we thought as a group, that this is somebody with facial hair, right, with a beard. Oh wait, Josh, where were you on the night of? Right, but he's got a mustache and a beard.
mine wouldn't fit under that. And first of all, I would never wear anything like that.
Right, and I wouldn't. I wouldn't either. But he says facial hair, and it appears to be clearly male. I know there are some people who were thinking that could be a woman. I think it's clearly male. And a lot of the behavior just sort of suggests someone who's like not especially bright, just amazingly kind of comfortable, not looking particularly frightened, just kind of moving around like as if he was very cozy and not particularly alarmed, which was in any way. So that was sort of interesting. But anyway, so you want to watch the video, or is this the first time you're commenting on it on yourself?
Yeah, I haven't talked about any of this, and I've been following it. But yeah, you know what? Maybe should have you seen the interview with the mother-in-law?
The mother-in-law of whom?
Of the suspect that's detained?
No, I haven't actually, and who knows? I mean, that could turn out to be totally unrelated. It could be.
Well, I agree, but you know what? I'm going to play that.
Wait and see. I would like to see that. I haven't,
because Enton just did this. So let's just go to that, because that's the newest.
Boy, he's everywhere, right? He's like the Forrest Gump of true crime.
Ryan, you're up.
He's terrific.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm outside the house that is now being searched, where this subject lived, we're told. There was a traffic stop close by. This is the subject being questioned in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. This is Josephina.
Yes.
This is her house, and the subject is her son-in-law.
Yeah,
is
my
that right?
son, yeah.
Tell me how this happened. Where was he when he was detained?
My daughter and him and the kids, my grandkids, were doing DoorDash when they got stopped here, and I don't know what kind of questions they asked them. But when we got home, I wasn't at home. When we got home, we found out that they took my son out. They went inside, they busted the doors from my house. They went inside and took my son to the living room and had him handcuffed, and then got him outside. That's when the time that we got home, and we asked what was going on, and they couldn't say anything. And they said, and I asked him to have a search warrant to go in my house. And they said, we don't need a search warrant. We could go do that if we want to. So I told them, yeah, I think you need a search warrant. Why did you break my door? You took my son the wrong way. I mean, you hurt him. His wrists were with the handcuffs.
Let me
They were-
ask you: Were you familiar with the Nancy Guthrie
No.
case? Had you seen that she was missing?
Like I told you, I saw it on Facebook, but since I don't know her, I didn't read what was going on. The
Did
story.
they take electronic devices at all? Did they take your
I
phone?
don't have anything. They took
your
my phone. They
took-
took my phone, my husband's phone, my daughter's phone, my grandkids' phone, and my son-in-law's phone.
Let me show you these pictures really quick,
Mhm.
Josefina, of just give me a second, I gotta pull them up on my phone. These are the pictures from outside Nancy Guthrie's house.
Mhm.
This is who they're looking for. Did the eyes look like your son-in-law at all?
No, not at all.
Do you see the
I-
mouth?
Yeah, no, he doesn't look that out.
you, you don't look too impressed, Dr. Gary.
Brian, can you ask what her son-in-law's
what's
name
his
is?
name?
It's Carlos. Carlos Palazuelos.
Sorry, what's his name?
Carlos
Carlos.
Yes.
And what's his last name?
Palazuelos.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. So
And does he work in Tucson? Would he ever be in Tucson?
he's in Tucson all week. He works delivering boxes for like UPS and he works with a company. And I told him you can call the company that he works there and verify that he's working. And
Is your daughter also detained?
no, they just let my daughter and my grandkids go.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you, Josefina.
Yeah.
So that's sort of the latest here, Jesse. They took her phone too,
Yeah,
her husband's phone,
and
her daughter's phone, and obviously her son-in-law's phone. And they are searching her house right now. So this is sort of an unfolding situation.
And I'll get into this with Arthur, the fact that they didn't have a search warrant according to her. Do you know where Carlos is right now, Brian?
Do we know where Carlos is right now?
No, I don't know.
Amazing how he's
I don't
just
know what's-
everywhere, talking to me. That's what I meant, obviously, about the Forrest Gump thing.
I know, yeah.
Always everywhere. I don't know how he does it. It just astounds me.
Well, he's got a million sources from doing this. He's, he kind of gets the drop on everything. But the fact that he gets people, like, to be honest with you, and I don't care that she talks or not, but I mean, I would say I wouldn't be talking to anybody if I were her, that personally. But she's obviously in shock.
I don't know what's going on.
It's
I don't know what's going on. I only know that he amazes me because he gets everywhere. Like, it's almost like before it happens. I don't know how he does it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's probably got a DeLorean that's like all set to go to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance or something. Right. And he's just like, there, boom. It's astounding. He's an amazing person.
I can't, and I wouldn't believe that if they don't have a search warrant, though. That can't be.
I'm
one I can reach with nobody.
Yeah, we think he's being questioned. But...
Yeah, they already asked us a lot of questions about him. We told, like I said, I have nothing to hide. You can go in my house. You can search anything you want. There's nothing to hide. I don't know the lady. I don't know about the lady. I saw her on Facebook, but like I told you.
Was he ever violent? Any violence with Carlos?
No, he's a good guy.
Criminal history that you know of?
None of it.
No. Okay.
Is he from Tucson?
Brian,
yeah, so I mean that's sort of the situation. She's obviously in shock. Yeah.
Did you show her photos of the person outside of Nancy Guthrie's house? The images, the mask, the back.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse, we just saw that
backpack. Did she identify any of those items
did.
of clothing? And nothing. She doesn't see anything in that.
I did, and let me show you. Again.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen these photos?
Yeah, the detective showed it to me right now.
And the backpack? Does the backpack?
He
look
doesn't
familiar?
have a backpack. He doesn't wear backpacks. He doesn't like either that. I don't know what gloves or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
what they're,
gloves.
no.
You see the boots?
Yeah.
Let me get you a
no,
closer picture. You see this here? Look at the look at the eyebrows. The eyebrows are very specific. You see how?
I'm not laughing. I'm not. It's not. It's just it. It's this is so surreal.
They're very manicured.
No, that's not it.
I've never seen anything like this before, ever.
Well, it's like I'm gonna hold Mike.
I can assure you it's not him.
Okay.
I don't know.
I can assure you. Like I told you, if I had my phone, I will show you a picture of him.
Okay.
I can show you.
Yeah, she wants to show me a picture, but she doesn't have her phone. But she seems very sure. I mean, it's hard to tell with the mask, but but we've said if you knew the person, you would be able to recognize them.
But Brian, if you don't mind asking her, does she know where he was January 31st, February 1st?
I mean,
do you know where he was January 31st? You know when this happened? It would have been last Saturday night.
Well, he works from Monday through Friday. He's home Friday. He stays home Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Goes back to work on Monday. So on the weekends, he stays at my house. He doesn't go nowhere. He stays
So
wherever.
was he at your house
Yeah,
last
he was.
Saturday?
Yeah, he was here at my
Are
house.
you positive?
Yeah, I'm positive. He was here at my house.
Because this would have happened late Saturday and early into Sunday morning, like around 2 a.m.
Oh
on
no,
Sunday.
he's always here for his kids on the weekend.
Could he have left in the night?
Oh no,
No.
I'm pretty sure. He has his van that work. He uses the van that's outside.
A
It's
van.
a van. It's broken. It's not working.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our News Nation app right now on your.
I mean,
Well, look, let me just say a couple things, if it's all right. First of all, as I said, there are some things that are beginning to evolve in the thinking of people that have worked previously in law enforcement or who are forensic psychologists like me, where you're starting to see this sort of evolving picture of what seems to have gone on here. And what I am interested in from a criminological perspective, other than, of course, the human aspect of this, about this poor woman and this family, and I mean, which is like unspeakable. I mean, what has been happening to them, is that what originally looked kind of like a personal cause thing that was masquerading as some kind of an abduction and so forth, where there were financial motives and possibly emotional motives. It looked kind of like a personal cause thing. But now, as this story unfolds, it's starting to look a little bit more like some kind of group enterprise thing, where you have some central figure who may have had a personal connection, right? Because somebody has a personal connection to this victim, right? But there's like, they're saying they found the Facebook, I think, of the person that's being looked at.
yeah.
I was like, I don't know, Facebook. I have no interest in Facebook. Years ago, when it was a thing, a fad, but no way. But anyway, but it looks now more like there are these little sort of characters that are sort of involved in, maybe in some sort of ancillary way. And that's interesting, to start to think about, that there might be Confederates or people that are somehow involved. And the thing that, when a couple of episodes ago in the interview room, there was this really interesting thing that happened, which I think got underplayed in terms of how meaningful it is. Okay. And I want to draw your attention to it here also, just for this conversation, which is that we started talking about Dominic Kalela, the guy that got arrested in California. And the idea was that he was like basically demanding Bitcoin in a scammy way. That was the accusation. Remember that? And then he's like let out on 20K, bail. Okay. So I pull up an article where I just want to know about this guy. So I found this article that was something like what you need to know about, Dominic Kalela. So I read out the language that they had given in the I see Dominic in some places and Derek in others. Is it Derek or Dominic?
It's Derek.
D. Kalela. Okay. So because we said Derek on the other show, and people corrected us and told us it was Dominic. Okay. So the idea is, I read out the language that had been texted. My understanding is that it was texted to Savannah's brother-in-law and wife, and his partner, that is her sister, and that's what it says, in what I've read. And so I read it out, and then everybody in the group starts picking apart that if that's the only language, it's tricky, because technically speaking, it's referring to like some prior conversation, possibly, about the transmission of Bitcoin. It doesn't indicate that it's a threat. It doesn't indicate if it's a friendly thing or a collusion or whatever. It doesn't indicate what it is. And then Chris amazing, detective as he is, he the next thing you know, he's got the affidavit because, it's available publicly. He gets the affidavit, and it turns out that's all that's in there. It's that line of verbiage that is very vague. And so it starts raising these questions like, why is it sent only to them? And
Right.
and why does it seem to make reference to some Bitcoin discussion? And why was there a phone call for 9 seconds to a unspecified family member from this person and the whole thing? So that already is something that we are having a hard time sort of eliminating as significant, right? So that's interesting. And then you have this person who is pulled over, just stopped at a traffic stop, and you've got this search of a home. Is that the same person? Is it different people? Okay. Then you've got the fact that you have hours of searching at Annie's house, and you've got an impounded vehicle that, to my knowledge, hasn't been released, right? So, and then you've got the fact that who the heck is in this video, right? So what you're left with is this kind of farrago of facts. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist the alliteration of that phrase. The farrago of facts, right, and the olio of oddities, and the etc. That we just can't connect yet, but it seems to point to a whole sort of nexus of. And then the question becomes, well, then what the heck is the motive? Well, in these situations, what you tend to see is a sort of hodgepodge. There's another word for farrago and olio, a hodgepodge, a potpourri, if you will, of possible motive. And what it looks like is
cornucopia.
A cornucopia. That's a good one. I like that one. Yes, very, very good, very good. You're getting into the spirit.
Love it.
You're getting this. What looks like, for some people that might be connected in some way to this, it might just be money. It's just financial, it's just a kind of bunch of people who are going to capital. But then it looks like for somebody, it might also be personal, right? Someone who knows you and has, is familiar with your habits, and, so that you start wondering about, is there somebody who needs something, who wants somebody eliminated, wants to abduct someone, whatever, and has incorporated some Confederates in some way, or who owes something to someone and is being threatened, or wants somebody out of the way because they know something. In other words, there's something going on that seems to represent a connection point we don't understand yet.
The net, like a
ball figures. And all right, but I can't get around the fact that there is so much looking at the inner circle.
Right. Still.
Right. So still. And then this video, which is absolutely fascinating, you've got this guy this is like amateur hour. I said on Chris's show that that's hold on a second. There's somebody. Hold on a minute. Oh, I misunderstood something. You've got this amateur hour thing. I said on Chris's show that when I first saw this, the free association I had in my head was that scene, that episode of The Honeymooners where Ralph dresses up as the man from space, and he just takes whatever he can from around the house and puts it together to make this kind of costume, right? Well, when you look at this, one of the things pointed out by the, guys very familiar with firearms on the interview room was that, the holster doesn't really match the gun, right? His gloves are it may be 2 layers of gloves. They're not really what you would want for maximum dexterity. He's using
I heard
to cover the camera. He's got this dopey, kind of these are gloves you'd pick up snowballs with.
Right.
Some looks hiking equipment and spelunking lights.
Well, that's what I heard John Lamb say, that he probably wouldn't even be able to get his finger through the hole for the trigger.
Yeah, it's dope. It just has that quality of let me throw together whatever I've got around. And that's interesting. But as I said earlier, whoever this is, he looks like he's bearded and mustached. He's, kind of fit. Doesn't appear to be like an obese person, whatever. And, I can't tell what hand he uses dominantly, which is sort of bothering me. I'm very interested in that. I thought maybe there was some attempt to cover up the sheen from those lights, gleaming against the glass that's on the sides of the doors that was very reflective. Because, like, in the picture of the front of the house, you can see a reflection of an Amazon package. I thought maybe there was some light sort of blasting at him, but it does look like an attempt to cover it, and sort of stupidly.
This is the most ridiculous part of the whole thing right here.
The most ridiculous. I mean, look at this photo. I mean, it looks almost like some kind of well, it's ridiculous. And and then it's funny how people, in an attempt to say anything other than that this is just amateur hour, try to make this person more sophisticated, and they'll say, maybe he's wearing a 3D printed mask under the ski mask,
Right.
maybe the he's wearing multiple layers of gloves because he's got
Does this look like a guy that knows how to 3D print anything? I mean, he's taking shrubbery and trying to cover up the camera, and it doesn't work because I mean they're just dry leaves. They're not gonna sit there on a flat camera. So then finally he just says, "Screw it, I'm gonna take it off." I mean, this is
the latest example of a stupid genius. I said on the interview room, he makes Brian Kohlberger look like Stephen Hawking.
right. Well, yeah, I think we're gonna find out pretty quick. Now here's the other thing too. But does this look like somebody who was familiar with the home? I mean,
way too comfortable. I mean, totally comfortable.
How is he not prepared for the front door ring camera or door nest camera? That's what I don't.
It's an interesting thing. I mean, I think that I actually don't know, but all I'm saying is that when you look at him, he looks cozy. He looks like he knows. We all think that this is somebody who is familiar with this.
I mean, look, there's.
I mean, there's something to suggest, but yeah, it's true. Like, he's not very prepared.
Look at this. Look, just trying to build a nest.
Well, he's trying to cover it, but it's
it's
really silly to watch it. I mean, it's unbelievable to me.
So finally he goes, okay, well, now I'm just going to rip the whole thing off. I mean, look at the, so obviously this is the guy that they're looking for. The one that is being detained. We don't know much about him other than what we just heard. And if you're just joining us, that Brian Ented did a interview with the mother-in-law. She's obviously in shock and say, well, it's not him. But who knows? I don't know how she would know that. But do you think, so you still think that this person is familiar with the family?
Well, he's familiar. I think he's familiar with that place and that area, and that but it's just very interesting to see how comfortable he looks. He doesn't look alarmed. He's just sort of improvising coolly. There's something about that that's very odd to me. You see the little glimpse of the mustache through the hole?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you can see
it.
Yeah,
he's definitely got a mustache.
And the way it wraps around the neck is suggestive of a beard. And you can start to get a sense of what this person is going to look like under the mask. It's interesting.
Yeah, now let me see here. I'll play a little bit of this.
Posted on Instagram these photos, and she also said, "We believe our mother is still alive." And honestly, that's the first thing I thought when I saw these. I mean, it looks so professional. When we were starting to sort of discount the kidnapping ransom theory, then you see these photos, and it seems to almost back that up now, that this This may have been a very sophisticated professional kidnapping, Nicole.
Brian, what was the latest that
I mean, it doesn't look
saw
like that's easy.
at the house? What was going on out there?
My lights are flickering. One moment. If my lights go out, it's because we're having some inclement weather.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
So
I mean, that
it's
happens
quiet
sometimes, but it usually
the
just
house.
flickers on
But
and
what's
off.
interesting is in these photos, and there's also video that has now been released. You see the suspect, and I think we're pretty. I think we can confidently say suspect now. I mean, why else would this guy show up to Nancy's house looking like this, armed with a gun? But you see him pick up some like brush, like some flowers, some like pull off part of a bush right there. And it's so interesting because when we went up to the door and saw the blood, we also saw that that little like the little piece of the bush that he had picked off. And I don't know what he was using that for, if he was trying to use it to cover the camera or use it to pull off the cameras. I don't think he'd be concerned about thumbprints because he's got his glove on. But that little piece of like weeds and brush that he picked up was actually still on the ground. I remember seeing it when we went up to the door and got video of the blood.
Oh, that is really interesting. So, Brian, as of right now, the sheriff is saying that there will be no press conferences. And as I was just speaking with the former FBI agent before you here, we saw numerous press conferences at the beginning of this case in the first few days when Nancy Guthrie went missing, when there really didn't seem to be a lot of information that was being provided. Yet here we have now this new video, we have these new images. What is really compelling, truly actually terrifying, as you said, to think of somebody showing up at your front door with a gun, a mask, gloves, and trying to obstruct the view of your doorbell camera. Do we know if that will change when it comes to a press conference? Is there any inkling that we will get some update from law enforcement today?
Yeah, I would imagine there would have to be at some point. The fact that they just put these photos out without any real explanation or press conference did kind of surprise me because we don't really know the full context behind them or why they decided to put them out right now. At the same time, they do sort of speak for themselves. I mean, this again, what I first thought when we got the source saying that there was going to be a surveillance photo coming out this afternoon, I assumed it was going to be something from the gas station, just something sort of generic. I had no idea.
Dr. I don't know if you guys talked about this on the interview room or not, but the address, the Bitcoin address that was given, that there was some activity. I think it was less than $300 sent, and who knows who that's from. But TMZ was reporting that there was activity on the Bitcoin wallet, and so it sort of seems like, obviously, they put this information out to obviously stir some stuff up, which,
well, it seems to have gotten some people spooked or something to kind of, and but it's interesting to think about. But did somebody in the audience say that they were sending you a picture? Is that something we should look at?
Yeah.
Or is it irrelevant to
no, it's
the person sending it to me too? Hold
on. Let me put it up here.
Somebody sent a picture. What is it? Here, I'll put my email.
This is what was sent.
Oh, I see. That's the picture of the person that people were sort of, I don't know, this telephone game that people play on the internet, of the person that was like that supposedly being what's the word I'm looking for, that they thought was being questioned or something, but it but it isn't. Oh, I think I got the email too.
Yeah, and so I guess they're bandmates or
I forgot. They kept saying his name, Evans. Yeah.
Yeah, what is the guy that's being detained?
Like there's no beard. There's no mustache. doesn't seem to have the build. I mean, I don't know what that's about. People are interested in that. Oh, they're asking for my email. Hold on. And the other thing is that I had heard in this sort of game of telephone that I thought was interesting was that people were talking about somebody being like sort of taken to medical care. And then all of a sudden, people were like, wait a minute, is it possible that she's alive? That Nancy's alive? That despite the fact that she was bleeding and didn't have her meds and her pacemaker disconnected at 2:27 a.m. or 28 a.m., whatever, that and that she can't ambulate well. Yeah, I'm mixing the names up. That she can't ambulate well. I mean, is it possible? I mean, and so who knows? I mean, I just think that it's a big giant game of telephone. And hold on, did my email go into the chat? Because somebody asked me.
Okay, so Carlos.
Let me see. I tried to put it in the chat. Did it not come through? I don't care if people do it because it's on my music page all over the place, so it doesn't bother me. That email address, I don't mind if people have it. Let me just see. How come I put it in the chat and it didn't come up?
I'm not sure. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it blocks links, but tell me what if you want to tell it, you can.
It's easy. It's just all lowercase DrGaryBrucato, Dr. Gary Brucato at gmail.com is the easiest way to. Or you could, right. That's simple. I mean, I use that for people that are writing me about the book or for news or whatever. So it's
okay. So
I'm interested in whatever this is that I'm. But so I think this is an example of where like it's a good idea to be careful about assuming the things you hear on the web are accurate until they are confirmed. So there's like all this buzz about, this particular person,
yeah,
that a medical pickup, whatever. I don't believe a word of it until it's confirmed because it's like a game of telephone.
Well, I would be, look, they have they have somebody that they have detained and that they're questioning. But remember when in the Charlie Kirk situation, when they detained somebody.
I don't talk about the Charlie Kirk situation.
Yeah, but I mean, they did
one word.
But they did detain somebody else. They were like, "Oh yeah," and it turned out that the guy was nothing. So it could be he could be who they're looking for. It could be the wrong guy. I mean, so who knows?
It's like it bothers me because it's giving the impression to the public that they really don't have clear sense of what's going on, but I don't think that's true. I really don't. My sense is, thank you. We've got to get you something for your cataracts. But the thing is that I'm joking. But the thing is, I think my sense is that they have leads, and that they are giving someone like enough rope to hang himself. That they're sort of allowing time to.
Yeah, well, I think so too, but I mean, time is of the essence as well. What happened? Oh, he's flickering. There is no release picture of Carlos. So there's no. Okay, let me just bring something else up here. I think he's frozen for now. I'm sure he'll be back.
And in custody for questioning in connection to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. And we just learned county sheriff confirming that a person has been detained in connection to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. What we know at this point from law enforcement is that this person was detained following a traffic stop south of Tucson. Now, we don't know at this point who this person is and what the circumstances were.
This just came out 22 minutes ago. What if it, let me see here. Hold on here. What if it's a person obsessed with Silence of the Lambs and had a whole basement? We all notice the similarities in letters. Man, I guess that's possible, but.
Surrounding law enforcement zeroing in on them, or what role they may have allegedly played in what has happened to Nancy Guthrie. Now, NBC is confirming the only thing we know about the identity is that reportedly it's a man, and TMZ is also reporting that this person is not a member of the Guthrie family. Fox News Digital, with their sources, say that investigators have not found Nancy Guthrie. So the biggest question in this story is still unanswered at this hour. Now, these breaking developments come after a busy couple of hours since the release of these images and videos by the FBI and Pima County Sheriff's Department showing a potential suspect, this person who was armed with a gun, who had gloves on, a backpack, a mask, and they were at the front door of Nancy Guthrie's home the morning that she vanished. Now, some of the developments that we've been following on this Tuesday night is that the Pima County Sheriff's Department SWAT team was reportedly dispatched. They were seen leaving the Sheriff's Department, and Fox News confirmed through their sources that the SWAT team was activated in connection to the case of Nancy Guthrie. There was also a bomb squad that was reported.
I do not have a photo of the guy who's been detained at this time.
Sent out. Now, the latest information we have at this time is that the SWAT team is still out investigating. Now, on top of that, several media reports have said that the FBI's elite hostage rescue team is in Tucson. Now, as we continue to monitor that part of the story, we're also seeing more FBI activity in the neighborhood of Annie Guthrie. Annie is Nancy's oldest daughter, and it was Annie's house that Nancy was at for dinner and games with her family the night that she disappeared. A family member, we don't know which one, according to the sheriff, they won't get more specific, but a family member drove Nancy home around 9:45 back to her home where she lives by herself. And then that is when law enforcement say you see this person after 1 o'clock in the morning, potentially showing up at her front door, then messing with the camera and then removing it. And then that has led to what we saw today with those images that were released by law enforcement. Now, the FBI has been spotted this evening talking to neighbors of Annie Guthrie and canvassing her neighborhood. You might remember over the weekend, the Pima County Sheriff searched Annie's home in what NBC described as a consensual search.
No.
Now, we are also hearing.
Also, no press conference at this time. I'm not sure. Hold on. And I know Dr. Gary's having some internet issues, but he'll hop back on when he can. Yeah. Let me see here. Let me look at Twitter really quick.
Of activity tonight, and this was a big development as well. There was activity in the Bitcoin account linked to those alleged ransom.
And that's what TMZ reported earlier, was that there was some movement in the Bitcoin account, but it was significantly less than the reported 4 to 6 million. I mean, it said it was like less than 300, something like that.
Notes that were sent out to media outlets like TMZ. TMZ says that they saw the activity in the Bitcoin account. Now, we are more than 24 hours after the reported deadline, the second deadline given in that alleged ransom note that initially the Guthrie family said they were willing to pay, but then the deadline.
Sammy Sosa, not the baseball player. And thank you for your super chat. Sorry, I know this is a little off topic, but does anybody know if Nancy regularly took Ubers to her daughter's house? Curious if that was typical. I don't know if that was or not, but the dropping off, if she took an Uber there and then they drove her home. I mean, I kind of find that a little odd as well.
Past of 7 p.m. Monday night, and there was no activity there. But then tonight,
but I don't know
this activity's been reported. And K-Gun TV, which is one of the local TV stations that received one of the first ransom notes last week, said that $300 was put into that Bitcoin account. Certainly a lot less money than the $6 million that was the reported ransom number that K-Gun
I already said that.
said was in that initial ransom note. And it's unclear how that money got in there, who put it in there. Is it in connection to the Nancy Guthrie case. It's also unclear at this point whether those ransom notes are related to that person we see in those pictures on the front steps of Nancy Guthrie's house.
Well, it may not be odd to do that, but it is odd that the story changed twice of who dropped her off. I'm not saying that. I mean, you can't pick her up, but you can drop her off. I mean, I guess. I don't know.
Those ransom notes are actually legit. Law enforcement have not confirmed that as of yet.
All right,
Join us now to talk about the latest developments. Missing persons private investigator Steve Fisher.
All right, I'm done with this one. Okay. Oh, Dr. Gary's back. I think his.
Yes. It's very strange. We've got part of the lights out because of this weird weather. So I've got my handy Victorian candle holder, you see, from my collection of antiques.
Yeah.
And my Edgar Allan Poe matches, which someone sent to me as a gift. And I am going to light a candle old style. Indeed. I like antique things. I'm sorry.
No,
And we will, I got to get one of those, those old style Victorian sleeping caps. You see? Look how ghostly this looks, Josh. I feel like I should be hosting a horror show, like, come in, kiddies, into my web of doom, whatever. But I'm just going to put this over here. And I like that somebody was like, bye. Somebody's leaving. They're like, bye. I'm sorry, I'm not really the crypt keeper.
Oh, man.
Okay. And hilarious.
Yeah.
But look at this lighting is so odd. Look. It's like I've got Casper the Friendly Ghost next to me or something.
It does kind of
eerie.
Do I have a pic of the mask?
And all the seeming of a demon's that is dream. Okay, so I'm going to move this a little over to the side, and
so what? Your power went out, but your
part of the power went out. Like the way it worked is that like the living room and beyond went out, but the front is working, and the computer. It's all very weird. So I have to cancel.
That is weird.
It's not that weird. It happened to me several times before.
So what we were talking about was that you're kind of feeling like that. I mean, and look, obviously this is just, but you're kind of feeling like this is sort of a network.
That we're all quite literally and figuratively in the dark.
That's true too. But you think that this is some sort of network, and that maybe they're
not a network. It's just a bunch of there's got to be a couple of people that sort of conspired, Confederates, that kind of thing.
Right.
Some central figure who probably some central figure who has some awareness or personal reason to, and then needed a little help. That's what it looks like.
Gotcha. Here, hold on.
I think Dr. Brucato is so funny. Okay, Dr. Gary's so funny.
I do too.
You don't think I'm funny?
Yeah, I do think you're funny.
But not when I'm not trying to be. It's funny when I'm not trying to be funny.
Well, that's all the time.
Right.
All right, let me just play this really.
That is the weirdest frozen screen.
Very basic information from a source, and it is that there is a person who has been detained in the Nancy Guthrie investigation that they are planning to question. They may have already started questioning. I am not being told that this person is being called a suspect or a person of interest, just that there is someone detained right now, and the location is somewhere south of Tucson, in Pima County, but south of Tucson. It may explain the activity that we saw earlier, Leland, when it comes to the SWAT trucks getting ready and leaving. And like I said, there was just a flurry of activity a couple of hours ago, and we do now have confirmed that there is someone detained. And I was told that questioning was going to begin sometime soon.
Okay, Brian, stay with us. We've got Tracy Walder, Chris Hinkle, both formerly of the FBI. Tracy, just putting this timeline together, because those SWAT team vehicles left within minutes of the video being put out. Is this a situation potentially where investigators had a suspect in mind or a person in mind and released the video to see what that person did?
It could have been a ruse, absolutely. I think there's
Yeah,
no question, but I also think that video.
Dr. Gray, think about this too. I just whenever like this happens, like when a video shows up of somebody that hadn't been identified, and they're probably going, yeah, they don't know who I am, and then they wake up in the morning and then they see, they see the video of themselves on national television going, can you imagine their reaction? Just like, oh crap, like, that's just a
Look at that frozen screen. What's up with his eyes? The way you have it frozen.
I don't know. I think maybe he's blinking, rolling his eyes.
The way you have it frozen, it's so
I just hit pause. I didn't do it on purpose.
My God, it's like the hills have eyes. Okay, make them move.
Absolutely, I think there's no question. But I also think that video, if you take it in connection with
I can't even do
Samantha
it.
Guthrie's video, with Savannah Guthrie's video from the night before, really indicated to me that they did need the public's help in terms of finding a suspect. And because this individual was essentially, and rightly so, blasted all over the media throughout the US, hopefully someone close to this individual who knows this individual, who recognizes some of these features, came forward, and they could be questioning one of those individuals, or they could be questioning the person on the camera.
Look, and Chris, we got to be very careful in these situations, and we are all in the media, I think, should be at least resident and hesitant, knowing past situations where we've been through, where someone was put forth as a suspect or a person of interest, turned out not to be. I'm thinking about Elizabeth Smart's kidnapping. I'm thinking about the Atlanta Olympic Park bombers.
That was a bad one too.
What in these initial hours, what are going to be the questions to this person? As Brian said, they're being brought in for questioning.
Well, they're gonna want to confirm, corroborate, or just get some clarification on the information that led to them actually talking to this person. But I agree with you. People that engage in what I call confirmation bias, when they say this must be the person, so they end up looking at only the information that confirms the bias that they have toward that individual. That is just a detriment to any investigator. You've got to let the facts take you where they go. And we knew we were going to get a lot of activity once this video was put out there. Somebody knows who this person is. Somebody recognizes something, whether it's the gloves, the jacket, the backpack, the size of the shoes. It could be any of that. So it is something that I did expect, and I think we'll see more and more activity. It could be that this person is the suspect. It could also be that it's just a coincidence that this individual had something similar to what we see in the video. But I don't want to get out ahead of this and make a false accusation.
No. Tracy, Brian reported that the FBI's HRT, Hostage Response Rescue Team, was brought in to Tucson. Oftentimes former Tier 1 military operators, Delta Force, SEAL Team 6, certainly people who had been on the SEALs teams, who train day in, day out in hostage rescue. That at least leaves the possibility open that they believe that Nancy Guthrie is still alive.
Absolutely. The HRT is really the best at what they do, in my opinion. I worked with them at the FBI. I also worked with them when I was in Afghanistan with the CIA as well to negotiate individuals and their release. So I think part of it here is that they have to operate, unless they have information that she is in fact deceased, unless they have that confirmation, which we don't, no one has given that information out. They have to operate under the auspices that they may be trying to recover a hostage in a situation like this. So bringing them in my opinion, was absolutely the right thing to do, because you don't know when that information is going to.
After seeing these photos of this guy with the gun and everything, I mean, what are the chances that she's still alive? I mean, I know that you can't really say, too much, but in your,
it's a good question. See, because we're talking about a situation. I'm sorry, I'm having way too much fun with this candle. Out, brief candle. Okay, so first of all, you're talking about an 84-year-old woman who had difficulty ambulating. I mean, I think I heard that she would have difficulty walking. Somebody's asking for my email again. Why don't you just put it in put it on the screen, Josh? Because multiple people now. But anyway, so she I understood she couldn't even walk something like 50 feet. Is that correct?
Well, I think it was 50 yards, but
50
hey,
yards, something like that, without
it's it stands.
and she was possibly bleeding. I say that because we don't know if there was staging in some way or how, but she's possibly bleeding. Her pacemaker disconnected. Doesn't mean that it went off, but it disconnected from whatever was reading it. It's hard to understand how she could be okay. And then you have the fact that they were searching things like a septic tank and things like that, that all pointed to the sort of coming around to the unfortunate conclusion that she might not be alive anymore. But then you hear things like they're saying tonight, about that there might have been a medical pickup and whatever, and rumors that she's alive and all that. I just think it's best to say, like, we don't know. I think it's very improbable, but you never know. I mean, listen, they thought that about a lot of people who were abducted, that they were deceased and then they're found. But my inclination was that at this point, it wasn't looking very positive. But I just don't know. I also think that everybody's attention now is on this creeptastic thing we're seeing on the screen, and the person, down toward the border of Mexico, and what is the link to this person and that person and this person and that person. But we're forgetting that on a smaller scale, what you have is hours of searches at the home of a family member, a car that's impounded and still impounded. It's hard to understand how there isn't some sense that there may be a kind of multifaceted thing going on.
Yeah, well, the investigation kind of seems.
Yeah,
it kind of seems like it's all over the place, and then
that's what makes it so confusing.
You have multiple searches of Annie Guthrie's home,
right?
A car that's was seized, and like you said, still seized, and now you have a person of interest just south of Tucson that they basically busted into the mother-in-law's house. And so, it does seem like there's a lot of different moving parts. I mean, there is a lot going on here, and I know there are people like, well, now it's like, well, get now it's not the family. You guys we don't know that. You don't know that it's not the family. You don't know it is the family. And by the way, I've never said it was the family. I have no idea. Who it was. I think that it's odd that they kept going, that they keep going back, and that they kept going back to search for, or keep searching the home of Annie. But does that mean that does that mean that they're guilty of anything? Of course not. That's ridiculous.
No, I mean, I refuse, because I just think it's appropriate to let law enforcement do that and not cast aspersions. But there are people that are being discussed in the press, plenty. But I think it's important to be very careful about that. I think it's very, very, very good. Oh, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. I enjoyed doing that episode too. A lot of people are asking me what the new evil category would be. And by the way, I have to tell you, I was thrilled because over like 250,000 people or more saw me talking about this case in Chris's show and yours, and there was this huge burst of interest in New Evil, and it became the #1 bestseller in forensic psychology, as per Amazon, on Amazon. And then I've got people just sort of saying, wow, I downloaded the book. I find myself interested. Where would you place this person and all that? And, it's an interesting question, because it depends on the day of what I think is going on.
Well, don't you also have to know the extent of the crime as well?
Well, that's it. But so it's like a moving target. But based on what we had known, even as I don't know what Dr. B is AG means. I have no idea.
It means Dr. B is like a gangster. Like it's a compliment.
I remember that it took me 3 months to figure out that it was a good thing when someone called me a goat. But in all seriousness, no, it's true.
It's not a
They were
goat.
like, "You're a goat." I was like, "Thank you for calling."
It's not a goat. It's the goat.
Oh,
The goat stands for greatest of all time.
Right, but they just put a picture of a goat.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. If they said you're a goat, that's an insult. But if they say you're the goat, that means that you're.
Well, the progression was initially the little icon was very small, and I thought that it was a jackass. Then I looked at it closely, and it was horned, and I realized it was a goat. Then I thought I was being called foul-smelling livestock. And then I started to understand that it was an abbreviation for GOAT, and figured out that it was actually a compliment, which took me 3 months. So this is my personality. I can figure out the minds of intricate people, but I did not understand that it was a compliment to be called a goat. I'm very sorry. That's just the way that it is. But now I know. Now I'm not offended anymore. But anyway, so it's a complicated question because I originally was thinking of this as making sense as a kind of elimination crime, like possibly even an elimination murder, right? Where you need somebody eliminated, not so much because you have ill will toward them, but because they stand in the way of money that you need to pay a debt, or they stand in the way of, they know too much, that kind of thing. But now as the story progresses, it's possible that it's larger than that, that there's a more intricate kind of financial scheme going on here. And I find myself unwilling now to sort of commit to a clearer picture of what went on here. Oh, so now they're saying the goat.
Right. That's what you have to say. If
How
somebody
I live deliciously. I feel like I should, like, what does that mean to be a goat? Anyway, whatever. Okay. Sorry.
like lamb chop, like
Right. That is the creepiest show ever. Okay. Well, anyway, so now I'm not so much willing to commit to the profile of the person. There is definitely something schemy here, though, that feels like it involves a very aberrant, sneaky kind of reptilian personality. Because no matter how you slice it, you'd have to be somebody who's just callous and kind of capable of doing that. I mean, even if you're taking someone and something accidentally happens, or you're taking someone and they're still alive, or you're taking them and you're killing them, God forbid, it just takes an awful kind of human being to do it. And you saw the person in the video. I mean, they don't have the slightest fear or compunction or anything.
No, I've watched the video probably 20 times, and each time it's like stranger than it was.
It's pretty strange. And I still think he's ridiculous. The other icon that people put in the chats that I didn't understand for a long time was like when you say something funny and somebody puts a skull, like to indicate like I'm dead. Like I didn't know what it meant. I used to think they were like threats. Like why is a person putting skeletal imagery in response to my joke? Like, was it so bad that they want me dead?
No.
And then I realized that was also a compliment. Apparently, I'm getting a lot of compliments, and I don't get it. Are there any that you don't understand, like that you didn't understand for a long time, but did you always understand youth?
Well, I have young kids. Well, like youngish. So
I'm proud of understanding 6'7".
I don't even. I mean that is one I don't understand.
6'7". Like the fact that I even understand that makes me feel.
I'm going to clip that, right?
What?
I'm going to clip that. What you just did.
6'7". Yeah. What? You're going to clip that?
I'm going to clip it.
You like that I said that?
I think it's great.
Again, 6'7". I saw a video where there was a picture of Jesus where he was making his hands sort of like that, and a father said, "Do you know who that is?" And the kid was like, 6'7", and I had to admit it was funny because I didn't expect it, but he was sort of doing these, how they always depict Christ doing these kinds of things with his hands. So I just thought it was cute that the little kid thought that it was 6 hands. It's really funny to me. I don't know. I've got a weird sense of humor.
That's true.
But you know, where's Kelsey? She'll find that funny. That's her.
Oh yeah, she's there. She's right. She just
Kelsey's
said
sense of humor is completely demented. It's great. I like her sense of humor. I don't know what it means either.
it doesn't mean anything.
Odd. She thinks that stuff's funny. See, she's laughing. I knew she'd laugh.
Yeah, she's laughing. Hold on. So let me stop this really quick here.
Her sense of humor. So let me ask you, do you share my sense that this is going to get solved? I think this is getting solved.
I think it's all. I think it's all unraveling.
I think it's unraveling
right now. That's exactly what's happening. And yes, I do think it's going to be solved. I've always thought it was going to be solved. When they were saying, well, we don't have any Ring doorbell or Nest camera or and somehow they figured that out, which with the help of a tech company. The FBI's resources are vast. I mean, they have brilliant people working this case. I think, but I do think that I don't think it's just this guy, whoever this person is in the video. I don't think it's just one person. I think that there's more to it. And whether that be somebody gave some inside information, what it looks like is it doesn't look like that guy showed up or whoever that is to kidnap. It looks like they're there to rob. I mean,
well, I think that's impossible to say. But Dr. Gary is like Sheldon from Big Bang Theory. Thank you. I've gotten a lot worse than that, so that's okay. But who do you get compared to, Josh?
Nobody.
Do you get those like things where people they say, you know who you remind me of? And it's like someone you don't look anything like. Like it's the most ridiculous thing in the world. I've gotten a few of them and they are really absurd. I had like 3.
That's not a road I'm willing to go down.
I'm not going down it either, but my God, the people say that you love.
Well, now watch that since you said that. Watch.
Now, oh, you put the glasses on. I like those glasses.
Thank you. They're my Harry Potters.
Yeah, I have round ones. They look kind of like Harold Lloyd. All right, so listen. People want to do. He was a silent movie comedian who was brilliant. You've seen the image of him like hanging on the clock, like hanging like over the building.
Oh yeah.
It's very iconic. Okay, so people are asking if we want to do calls. If you want to do calls, I'm open to it, but I want to reset our private chat, which people can read when they come in and do calls, which I don't like. I think I'd have to come out and come back in for you to set up a. Do you want me to come out and come back in? Josh looks like Josh. That's true. Do you want me to come out and come back in so that we have a reset chat? If you want to do some calls, let's do that. I'll be right back. Okay, hold on one second. Come on, that was fun. Nobody laughs. Where's the goats? All right,
the goats are everywhere.
Be right back.
Back.
Okay, we're too tired. Be right back.
What the hell happened there? No Dahmers. Okay.
Let's take.
I don't think that changed anything.
Yes, it did. There's nothing in the private chat now. It's empty. Why, your private chat still shows something? Go back out and come back in.
All right, let me try it.
Hello. Sorry, is anybody going to call in tonight? We could probably do like 2 before I just can't take it anymore. Oh,
hey, there you go.
And now you have an empty private chat, right?
No.
Oh.
I don't think so. I think it's empty for the people that come in, though. All right, so here we go.
Thank you, Sky Goddess. Take one of the 2 eye patches off. Lift it up. Okay, let's see.
Let me get the link here and take some calls. All right. And see if I can pin. Let me pin it to the top, and then we'll be good to go. I think. Did you freeze again?
No. I just can sit very still like that, like a vulture. Somebody gonna call in?
Well, I just put it up.
Great.
Email.
I think KA Pisces wants me to see whatever she wanted to email, but she couldn't find my email. So just like forward it to me. Send it to you, forward it to me. I assume that's a fellow Pisces. My birthday's coming up, Josh.
Happy birthday.
Yes, I don't believe in the zodiac, but I have to tell you that if there ever were a Pisces, I am the embodiment of Pisces. What is yours? Are you a
Scorpion?
Oh, like both my parents, that's why we get along, I guess.
Hold on 1 second. Both of your parents?
Yeah, they were both Scorpios. Could you imagine?
Yeah, well,
and also it's my Chinese zodiac year is coming. Also, Oh, very close to mine. Yeah, that's funny.
Let's see. All right, Heather, go ahead. You're on.
Oh, Heather. Is this Heather?
Hi, Josh. Hi, Dr. B.
Heather that always wants my sketches.
I love the hair.
They don't know what you're talking about. I do these drawings on little
his little doodles
that people they get them through my music page, and then you could put them in the New Evil. And I do a drawing, and Heather likes when I draw this person reading the New Evil whose hair is like
it's you reading the New Evil.
Well, you think it's me, but I don't correct you. It's just this random person with zany hair.
You would say the same thing if I held it up and showed it to you. If you've never seen it,
you wouldn't think that it was me, but
it's awesome.
It looks kind of like Einstein.
So I don't really have any questions.
Like multiples of them, so I don't know. Lord knows. Are you wallpapering the house or something?
No.
So how can we help you?
I don't really have any questions. I just wanted to respond to a couple of things you were saying.
Okay.
Well, last you were talking about your book, how you couldn't believe it's #1 and everything. And I made a comment. I made a comment in for you telling you that, of course, it's #1 and it's going to stay that way way before you're dead. Trust me.
It sinks down after a little while,
No, it's just, it really is. And every single person I've talked to has said the same thing.
I feel right now exactly like, you ever watch the Home Shopping Network? In the
My
old days?
mom loved that show.
Do you remember it, Josh? The Home Shopping Network?
I know it. She still watches
the greatest thing. They would have some really cheesy product, right? I'm not saying the New Evil's cheesy, but they have a cheesy product, right? And these people would model it and kind of show it off, and then these people would call in, they would buy it, at home.
My mom buys it still.
Right. And then they'd have these people who called in just like this, and they would praise it. They would endlessly praise it, and they'd say things like, "Oh my God, it's the greatest shampoo ever! I have 47 bottles downstairs."
You're too young to remember that.
Exactly like that. Like you're giving me the Home Shopping Network pitch on the book. Well, listen, I hope that people go out and buy it. What did you like about the book? If you don't mind my asking, what did you find helpful about it? Wow, that much, huh?
Man, overwhelming.
That's the best. What did you like about it? Crickets. She hit the eject button. That's so funny. She's probably still there. Heather.
Well, I mean,
Big
I
fan.
think so, but I don't know.
I'll fill it in. It was absolutely terrific. Well, thank you. I'm glad. Well, we'll move on to the next.
Donna, go ahead. Donna, you're there.
Hello.
Who's
Hey,
next?
how you doing, Donna?
Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Yes, I always
Oh,
like.
good.
No.
I just rang up. Just rang up. All I wanted to do was say congratulations on the 41,000.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
And
I'm proud
you
of
think-
Josh. I've watched his
Yeah.
channel explode.
Yeah, I was a long time lurker before I joined. And do you think they'll find Nancy?
That this is a very tricky thing to answer. I think that they are going to find her. What I am afraid of is I don't know for sure that she will be living, but I think
Yeah,
that
I didn't think
she will
that
be
either.
found. I don't think this is going to be a Summer Wells kind of situation where years and years go on and there's, people are not sure, and whatever. But, because I make the comparison to Summer Wells in the sense that Summer Wells is also like a highly vulnerable individual, that it's kind of hard to imagine if, that they're in good hands if they are alive, and what might have befallen them if they're not. But it's a very painful thing to answer. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I can only say hope is a beautiful thing. I mean, look how adorable she is, and by all accounts, a beloved person. And just think what kind of person you'd have to be to harm them.
Well, that honestly has been one of the main things going through I look at my own grandmother who's 82, and I mean, it's to me and to most people, and I think that's sort of why everybody's kind of so
She's everyone's grandma.
Yeah, exactly.
And I love my I'm like crazy about my. So are you, Josh? Right?
Yeah.
My grandma?
Yeah, you adore your grandmother, right?
Yeah, she's all right. Yeah.
I'm a grandma person. I always loved people that.
Well, I'm a grandma, so I think grandmas make the world go round.
They do. They do. And where exactly are you from? I mean, you sound Australian.
Queensland, Australia. Yeah.
Oh, fascinating. Yeah. Did you see
Yeah,
me
sunny.
play? If you look up on my piano page, there's one where I play folk songs. I do Waltzing Matilda.
Oh, do you? Oh, well, I'll have to go back and I must have missed that.
You'll have to
It's
look
like
into it.
today, I only got in an hour after you started because I fell asleep and had a nanny nap.
Oh, maybe you can translate that song for me, because I got to tell you, I can't understand a word of it. I'm still trying to
Oh,
figure
really?
out.
Yeah, I will. I'll email you. Yeah, it's pretty basic.
A pot that like you put over.
Yeah, it's like, this bloke was walking along and was a homeless guy, and just that's what they used to do. And I suppose back in the Depression, or back in the gold days, when this was written, and so they, just walk around the country with a swag on their back, and knock off and pinch sheep.
Oh, interesting.
So a jumbuck is,
but a Matilda's like a bag, right?
Yeah, it's like a swag.
I love it.
Yeah,
you can't make this stuff up.
and the jumbuck is a sheep, and so he comes along, pinches a sheep, coppers catch him, bang bang, you're dead, song over.
Dear Lord, and when you listen to it, you would never in a million years have any idea that that's what it's about. I mean, unless. So what kind of language is that?
I think it's like we got a lot of Irish and English background in Australia. So a lot of our sayings and are just a corrupt English version, really, or a corrupt Irish version.
Oh.
Same with New Zealand, except for they talk more like Pommies than we do.
Yeah, because if you read it without an Australian accent, it doesn't make any sense, right? Like if I recited it, I said, once a jolly swag man camped by a billabong under the shade of a coolabah tree. You'd be like, what is this guy talking about? But it's a beautiful song. I love the
Pretty
melody.
basic.
Yeah, well, you
It was,
understand. Yeah, it's great. I love that.
A homeless bloke camps under a tree next to a dam.
I love it. Well, anyway, so is there a true crime other than the crime of my trying to recite that? Is there a true crime related question you have for us? Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, it was about Nancy.
Yeah, is the case?
Yeah, it was just about Nancy. I didn't want to keep you hung up too long.
Is the case as big in Australia as it is here?
Is it? I'm sorry.
The case
you're breaking up, or I'm breaking up.
As big in Australia?
Yeah, it's starting to be.
Oh,
interesting. We see we've got a little 4-year-old missing in Western Australia at the moment.
Oh, really?
So that's and he's been missing since about August, I think, and so
that's so sad.
That sort of takes.
Do they
Gus.
Suspect anybody?
Yeah, the grandparents.
They suspect the grandparents and the disappearance.
Yeah, because they live out like they've got a 40,000 acre or 400,000 acre property, right? That's a lot of. It's bigger than Adelaide. Oh, probably 3 times the size of Adelaide.
Wow.
And
give us the name, and he'll pull up the case.
Oh, Gus. Oh, now you've got me his last name. Somebody in the chat will know it. Just little Gus. If you just type in Gus, it'll come up.
Gus Lamont.
Yeah, Lamont. That's it.
Okay.
So he's police and army and everybody's been out searching that sheep station.
Oh.
And didn't find anything.
Yeah.
And so that was in August, I think. And then it's only until they've just ruled out everything else. That's how long it's taken them. And now the grandparents are one of the grandparents.
Well,
so it says 1 day ago a suspect was identified.
Yeah, the grandparents.
Yeah.
Gus Lamont's mother leaves town as police identify suspect and missing for. Wow.
Yeah. So, and he's a beautiful little boy, just absolutely beautiful. So.
He's been missing.
Really sad. So that's sort of the big news over here as far as missing goes. But it has been on the news. Nancy has been on the news, but a lot of Australians listen to American true crime because we don't have a lot of it here.
Yeah.
And we don't have the transparency laws here that you have.
That's true. Yeah, that's a big deal.
Well, people are always asking, how do you do this work? How do you do it? Well, even the most hardened people that I know who do this forensic work, cops, et cetera, detectives, these kid cases, they haunt you. They haunt you. They're rough. I've had to be in the room with people who harmed children and have no question about it. People in prison, but no compunction at all. I happen to be someone who loves children. I think there's something about they haven't been jaded by the world. And, the other day I went to go see my niece and my 2 nieces and my nephew for one of their birthdays. And I got my niece this light up art board that you could put like a black and white uncolored, Barbie drawing in, and then you put this over it and you color it. You could color it over and over again. And she's talking about how she wants to be a fashion designer or whatever. And I was sitting there, junk food and just coloring with the 2 of them with their heads, like this, like loving, sitting there with me or whatever. And I with the 2 nieces, and I just felt so purely happy.
Yeah, I'm like that with my 2 granddaughters.
Yeah, you feel so happy because it reminds you that the world just sort of goes on and has goodness in it with all the craziness going on in the world. And then you read horrible stories like this, and you just want to hug them and kind of say, like, hug them. I love you, and I'm
It's
here.
like, and you,
Yeah.
I mean, how safe do you think the kid would be? There's no one out there. There's like, all you have to worry about out there is dingoes, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, there was only 4 people out there, and that was the trans ma, they call her, and the grandma, and the mother, and they ruled the mother out, and
Yeah.
they ruled, I think they ruled the trans ma out too. I think it was grandma they're looking at.
Well, I'm going to look into it, and I really appreciate your calling. And it's you seem like a very kind.
I'll let somebody else have a go.
Yeah, but I'm going to look into it because this case, I'm not really familiar with it, and
it's awful.
and Josh and I, we're always talking about cases that involve children that are abducted like this.
And William Tyrrell, I mean, William Tyrrell's case is so old, but they still haven't got anywhere with that. That's like.
Well, I think Josh was very helpful in the helping the public sort out the Summer Wells case, and also you talked.
Yeah, I watched. That's where I came across you guys with Summer Wells.
Well, that's all Josh and Chris McDonough that really have done a lot on those 2 cases. So, but okay, so let's let me take the next call with Josh and thank you.
All right.
Really.
Congratulations again.
Yeah, because I still can't wrap my head around it. Take care. Okay, so do we have another call? Maybe somebody wants to ask about this case.
I think Heather's back.
Hi.
Back. Oh, what happened? Heather? I asked you what you liked about the book, and you
We got
ran off.
disconnected. I don't know.
That's okay. Well,
And
anyway.
there was no one else waiting, so I figured I would just call back.
Do we have someone else waiting now, Josh?
No.
No, nobody else.
Willikers. What do we have? Plague? Okay, so
what did I love?
Yeah, we might as well tell
everything. How everything was categorized, and
I see.
It just made me understand so much more.
What case bothered you the most? Haunted you the most?
Oh my God! One single case or one?
Yeah, but one in there that like it's
level
hasn't left, because there's ones in there that I never got out of my mind from when I wrote it.
I guess some of the ones where they would talk about what they did to the little kids, like the torture part, like chopping that stuff off, and
they're talking about Albert Fish. Yeah, Albert Fish.
Yeah, there might more than one.
Yeah,
It was.
I think that's the one you mean, because when you made
it was like high up on the scale.
It's category 20. Yeah. Well, because he was psychotic, and in addition to everything else.
More than that, and what they did to the older men, like just the whole thing of it.
You can mean a few people, but I'm glad that you got something out of it, and
oh my God, yeah.
It to people.
I didn't read before that book. I started it on the beach, and I haven't stopped since.
Oh, well, there you go. I mean,
I wanted to tell you, my birthday's coming up too.
The inside of your mind.
Because I'm Pisces. I'm March 10th.
So
you're also Pisces. Well, hello.
Yeah, that's how I knew you were. I said that to you on your thing. I said, "You're Pisces, aren't you?"
There was a Met helicopter that flew from where they're talking to the guy. It was not involved. Yeah, I think that was the kind of game of telephone that you see on the internet. That's why I said I don't.
He had been found.
What are you, Josh?
What's that?
I
said,
what sign are you?
Oh, I'm a Scorpio. But if she would have been found.
Oh, I thought you said she was. I was like, wait, what?
If she was.
I thought he said that too.
Then we'd be blowing the phones up. We'd all know.
I mean, they're not going to keep a missing person alert going. You know, they would have to report that she had been found.
Yeah.
Well, and that sheriff just isn't used to all that. I mean, I'm just so glad the FBI had to get involved, because they had to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, it's an interesting
I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah.
Kirsten Smith, and then Kristen, and then
this guy still wants his flowers.
John Benet was the other ransom note. I hadn't really seen that in years.
The truth is, they're pretty unusual these days.
They are, right?
The point I keep making is that when you have a real ransom situation, the average is 24 to 48 hours.
And you want to keep them alive.
Right. You would want, well, of course, but usually it's 24 to 48 hours and it's pretty rapidly resolved, usually in a week on average. And you would be pretty clear with your demand.
Right. Some of them could be serial killers. Most of them would do that and leave them there. They wouldn't go through the chance of taking an 84-year-old woman.
I think that's very wise of you to say. And you know,
well, you said it.
Well, maybe that's.
I was listening to you on
maybe that's
with Chris.
Wise.
Why I think it's wise. I didn't remember it. No.
Josh, you got to admit he isn't a genius when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Yeah, when it comes to that stuff, yes. So yes, I am a Pisces.
I can barely tie my shoe.
Wait, listen. I just got tickets. Beaches is in April for 3 months.
Oh, really?
On Broadway. Yeah, and I go to a lot of Broadway shows. Yeah.
Wonderful.
So
Well,
I'll be there for like a late birthday present.
Oh, enjoy.
And what's that nice, expensive steakhouse that's there? I always forget.
Peter Luger's.
What?
Peter Luger's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter Luger. It's wonderful. Yeah, enjoy it. Yeah. So look, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
I'm sure we'll scare up somebody else to call.
Have fun.
Do we have another
Bye,
one?
guys. Have a great week.
Thank
When
you.
will you be live again? This weekend?
I don't know if I ever have been.
We've had storms, right?
Josh, is there someone else holding?
Yeah.
Bye, guys.
All right.
Bye, Josh. Bye, Dr. B.
You're always listening to the piano page and everything, and I think it's so kind. So thank you.
All right, let's see.
She's a terrific person, Heather. She's really, really kind.
Alexander.
Okay.
What's going on? What's going on, guys?
Have we ever spoken before?
No, but I was a guy that said Dr. B is a G.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You didn't know what that meant.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. I play piano as well too. So.
Oh, do you?
That's
What kind of style do you play?
I'm a gospel pianist.
Really?
Mostly church stuff. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, for like 20 years. But anyway, I've been on this journey with this case with you for like the last 10 days.
Yeah.
And it's just crazy to me.
You're new to us? You're new to this channel?
Yeah, I'm new to Josh, new to you, new to Chris, new to the new evil.
So what do you
new
think
to the whole thing.
What do you think?
I've enjoyed you guys, and I've learned a lot, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna order the new evil so I can learn about maybe if I'm crazy or psychopathic or something. But anyhow,
it'll send you back to the church to play lots of gospel.
Indeed,
cleanse your soul. By the time you're done reading it, it's going to be a rough read. I'll tell you right now.
For sure.
Yeah, it's not happy-go-lucky reading. So what can we do for you, Alex? And by the way, do you like to be called Alexander or Alex?
My mom prefers Alexander. We'll ride with that one.
Okay, good. Yeah. Some people only.
Well, that's what she named you.
Trouble, you know.
Yeah,
Alexander,
indeed.
You know. Right.
All right. So, in regards to Nancy, I think it's just really crazy how, and I think you spoke to this earlier with Chris, how the entire narrative has just changed around who did it or what's going on. You know what I mean? Right. With these new guys getting arrested or detained, for better say. If you had to take a guess right now, what do you think is going on?
Well,
because it's really kind of crazy to me. It's like it's all over the place. There's people all outside Annie's house. There's like 2 different investigations going on. It's been a crazy 10 days. You know what I mean? And then tonight, everything just completely changes. So it's like, I don't know what to think.
Well, look, I think that it's like a point that Kierkegaard used to make. When you're faced with 2 things that seem to be contradictory, they're probably both a little true, right? So what I think it is there's probably a little bit of truth to the idea that there's some sort of group enterprise thing where people have financial whatever, and there's probably somebody close to the victim who knows her intimately and may even have some more personal reason to kind of have resentment and all that. And you have to figure out how you could put those two things together and have them be true, if I'm right about that. And so what I think is that probably we're going to find out that either there was some kind of scheme to get money through either a what is the psychology be accused of? Well, Martina, I don't do that, so I can't answer that question. In fact, I go out of my way to specifically say that I won't do that until people are formal suspects. But Alex, so I think that because when I say somebody who may know her, I mean it could be anybody, like a person who cleans a pool, or people who delivers the mail, that kind of thing. See, it could be anybody but they just have to have some familiarity with you. See, and but what I think is that there are things in this story that have such a cruelty to them that it suggests a little bit more than just a practical motivation, right? Because you always want to pay attention to things like that aren't necessary. Like, for example, sending fake ransom demands and cruelly dragging people through the, you want to kind of think about why somebody would go out of their way to do something that wasn't needed.
Yeah, it seems very personal.
It's very personal. If you just want the money, I mean, you steal something from the house, nothing was even taken. They thought it was a missing person case at first because the house was in such little disarray.
And then when I see this video of this guy rubbing brush on the Nest camera. It's like he doesn't even seem like he's bright enough to be involved in a $6 million ransom. You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? I'm not a cat burglar myself, but Jesus, I don't know what to think of that. You know what I mean?
Well, it's I like the way your mind operates. I could see why you're interested in this stuff, but I could see you think like a person who likes to solve puzzles, and you're a musician also, so that tells me something about what the inside of your mind must look like, and I think I like the kind of tidiness and puzzle like quality of it. Just out of curiosity, what do you do for a living?
I do high-rise window cleaning, rope access work.
Oh, tell us about that. I'm fascinated by that. So you're not afraid to do that?
Honestly, Dr. G, I got started right when I became a father, so I think that kind of subsided some of my fear. But outside of that, in training people and the 7-year tenure I've had in it, I don't believe that you're either afraid or you're not. Like when you get up to 40 stories and you look over, you can either do it or you can't. I don't know if there's not a speech I can give you or a certain level of security or a prayer that I can say to make somebody feel comfortable. I think it's just you look over and you either think about immediate death and you shake or you don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I'm fascinated.
For me, at least.
Let's just say I'm glad you're a nice person who's fearless. If you were a not nice person who was fearless, you could do some scary things. But
the thing is, I'm scared of wasps. Like, so if we get up on a building that's 30 stories, it has a huge wasp nest with 40 wasps staring at me, I freak out like a little girl. So
you're scared of wasps, but you're not scared of high rises on the outside.
Not at all. It's an oxymoron. I know.
What scares you about a wasp? I'm just curious.
Oh, you're telling me you like climb up to the top of like a skyscraper?
Yeah, but nobody likes to be stung.
Wrap around you and clean the window and not be afraid?
Ask me that again.
You could like climb to the top of like a skyscraper with like a strap around your back, leaning back, like cleaning the window and not be scared.
Yeah, I ride the elevator to the top and then I descend on a rope. But if I descend down and there's a wasp nest with 40 wasps staring at me, and then I'm kind of like, I can only go up or down. I don't really have this range of motion that I would to run, like if it was in a tree or something. It's kind of like being assaulted by 50 wasps in the air. You know what I mean? And then the whole dynamic changes for me. But
that's amazing to me. You reminded me just now of that scene in Austin Powers when he's like, "There's only one thing that scares me." Remember? And he's like, "Connies."
Yeah. Have you been stung a lot? Is that the thing?
Tell us about how you got scared of wasps. I don't know why this is fascinating me so much.
I'm scared of most bugs, to be honest with you. When I was a kid, my cousin, she's kind of like my sister. She used to chase me with those golden locust shells that'll be on trees. And ever since then, I've been stained with fear by most flying
That's
insects.
very interesting.
But yeah, Josh, I have been stung, but ironically, I got stung on the ground. I came down and landed and hit a like a I guess like a floodlight to go
How
back to
old
the
were
case.
you?
When I got stung, like this is recently. I'm 32, so 29.
You know, it's funny that you say that because there was a time where I couldn't even walk outside without a flying object, like a flying insect coming near me without me ducking. I got stung. I think they counted 16 times by a wasp nest that my dog had dug up. And he was stung dozens of times. I was stung, I think it was about 15, 16 times. Stung so much that I actually got
my God, it's like that movie My Girl.
I'll make one more insect story, and then I have a question about the case, and I'll let you guys go.
Sounds good.
I'm definitely afraid of cicadas. The noises that they make when they're dying, and
Well,
they're
they're
huge.
creepy. They're creepy. They go underground for like 17 years, and they come up in a brood. Like they're a little creepy. I don't blame you for finding them creepy.
Yeah, it's
like where do
we
they
do
go
it.
for 17 years? Like, what are they
but then
doing
the last,
yeah.
they're building up a ransom case. But the last thing I have is I'm concerned with the amount of police presence around Annie's house. You know what I mean? I don't think anybody can duck or dodge that part of the story, or like,
well,
I feel like it's a large amount of law enforcement in and around her house, taking pictures, doing all kind of things that speak to her involvement. Am I wrong for thinking that?
Well, look, because we have to be fair.
Yeah.
I will say that until somebody is a suspect, I don't really want to cast any aspersions. However, what the public is drawn to is the idea. They're pointing out things like that the text message from the guy in California went to her and her partner and not to anyone else. You know, that there was a search of the house for hours, that there's an impounding of a vehicle that can, there are things like that. But I just think that things can be circumstantial, and it's best to kind of, you know what I mean?
Well, Dr. G, those are a lot of circumstances, my friend.
Well, he's very diplomatic, and I agree that
I understand.
And I absolutely agree that it looks
something odd there, but we don't know what it is. It could.
Well, here's the thing too, though. No, I tell you this, and this is from just covering stories for quite some time now, is that no matter what, if they're completely absolved and have nothing to do with it,
yeah, who knows?
People are still going to have a take a conspiratorial angle, and they're going to say, well, I've heard people, many people saying that Savannah knows what happened, and that she's involved. So what I'm saying is that was supposedly the last place that she was. That car that was taken was the last vehicle that she rode in. And if they weren't, I guess if they weren't investigating the home, they wouldn't really be doing their job. If they weren't investigating the car,
Indeed,
then they wouldn't be doing their job. And it sounds like all this stuff has been that they've agreed to let them do that. That, from what I understand, that they were no consent searches, but who knows? Maybe those things were sealed. Maybe they got them after maybe they had warrants. They said, look, we got a warrant, but they're like, well, you can just search whenever you want. It would be better to have a warrant. But yes, I truly believe that, it's just, it's not it doesn't look good, but until we know more. It's just really hard to say. But yeah, I would not be thrilled if my sister's place was getting tossed like that quite often.
Can I ask one last question off topic?
Yeah, we just don't know the significance of it, but I'm sure it has a significance that will make sense later. I mean, it could just be part of a process of elimination, or we don't know. But it's interesting. Let's put it that way. But look, I'm conservative about these things because I'm sensitive to,
to people,
to casting. Yeah. I just think people get kind of crucified sometimes before there's even any reason to, you know what I mean? I thought it was shocking that the news gave the address and name of the person who's being looked at in down near the Mexican border.
Yeah, and he was allegedly a DoorDasher. So
Right, and it could be totally unrelated. So I mean, I just think let's,
I don't want to cast aspersions. Guys, well, this guy has been I guess found guilty. And I don't ask this in a comical way. I really want some insight to how you feel about his personality type in regards to like your evil spectrum.
Who?
What do you, P. Diddy?
Oh, well, it's a really, really interesting. It's a really interesting question because what you had there, basically, and that's been adjudicated, right? So I think he's not. We're not saying. Right. What you have there is someone who's committing repeat sexual offenses, but this is not a serial killer, right? So when you have repeat sexual offenses, but there's no murder, the highest score you could have is 16 on the scale. But if once there's murder, particularly repeat murder, you go to 17, which is the classic category for murderers who are primarily motivated by sexual offenses. But sexual offenses without murder go into 16. And, that's a whole topic. What's interesting about it is that category 16, which is the most common ranking, becomes something of a catch-all for people who do really, really terrible things that don't involve homicide, right? They sort of wind up there. But you have a whole bunch of other types of offenses that can place you there, right? I mean, even Koberger, for example, is in the same category. So you might say, how are those two the same? And so there's an intricate answer to that, right? And so he did kill. He committed a mass murder, and he's still in the same category. So he's not a serial killer. So we need to we would have to have a whole lesson in the scale in order for me to explain. But the short answer is I would put him in 16. And you want to pay attention to the part of the category where I say that you could be sexually motivated but not a serial killer, and you'd wind up there. Like a lot of perverts, like child offenders and things like that, wind up there too. But he's
he's also a violent person as well.
Right, but there's no murder.
Huh?
There's no murder. It's not a murderer.
No, but
no, he's not.
That has been adjudicated.
There's many accusations, but nothing solidified. But he did attack his son's college football coach with a kettlebell.
Right. No, there's definitely that going on, but that doesn't take you above 16. You'd have to be a repeat murderer to go above that.
P. Diddy, here, I'll give you my professional. P. Diddy's a douche.
Okay.
I agree.
He's a bad person. I mean, he just flat out is. He's always been a bad person. Yeah, he's where he's at the moment. But
I thank you guys for having me on, man.
Oh, thank you.
You sound like a nice guy. You joked about being a psychopath. Unless you fooled me and Josh, I don't think so.
I'll ask you. I'll do my impression like Michael did earlier. Is it possible, Dr. G? Is it possible?
Oh, you like that? I'm becoming known for this. A lot of people make this joke to me now. That apparently I have this thing where, like a little kid, I'll say, "Is it okay if I ask a question?" And then but people like it. because it's like a kind of way of saying, like, let me ask an elementary question.
But he asks it anyway, even if the person doesn't say yes or no. He just
No. That they mean that, like, when an investigation is going on, like, I will ask a very fundamental question that is important, but other people think it are like ashamed to ask it. So they imitate me, kind of going, I'm going to ask a question. And, I mean, I've had a few people make this joke now, but I think, somebody has to ask these things, right?
Sure.
Indeed. I'm glad you're asking.
Yeah, that's the idea. But listen, if you like the book, write me a note sometime and tell me what you thought.
Okay, I will. Thank you.
Keep
Thanks,
up,
You guys have a good night.
keep up the gospel playing. I think that's a special
I
call.
will. I will.
Take
Have a
care.
good night.
Wash some spiritual
Oh,
wisdom.
also Alexander.
Yes, sir.
If you go to the interview room, Chris and I think Dr. Gary, I think you were on there too. We did a whole episode on Diddy.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
I
Yeah.
wasn't there for that. I've never.
I'm pretty sure you were.
I've never discussed P. Diddy.
Yeah, I think you have.
No, I haven't. I don't like to talk
No,
about it.
I think so.
What are you talking about?
You were there. I was
All right,
sorry.
then I've lost it. I'm done. All right, moving right along. Thank you.
All right, have a good night, man.
I gotta get my mental windows washed.
You were there. I promise. All right.
Okay, all right.
All right. Fan favorite. Here we go.
Yeah.
Joey H.
Oh, Joey, how you doing,
Hey,
Joe?
hey guys, can you guys hear me?
Sure can.
Yeah, how are you?
How am I? I'm shocked that you guys are up and doing this. I watched the interview room and then watched Josh, fell asleep and woke up and I heard Dr. Gary say, what are we, the plague? Because there was nobody on calls. And I said, okay, I got to get out of bed, get some water and make a call because I love calling you guys.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. No, a couple of things. One is it's really great to see you guys together again. I had actually reached out to Josh recently, just saying like, "What's going on? Gary's selling you out, man. I mean, where is he? Because I miss you guys. You guys are a very good team. The dynamic is very heartfelt. It's very personable, but you guys touch on heavy subjects while keeping it very personable. So it's very unique and very different than the other stuff that you guys do.
We're like a sitcom waiting to happen.
So two things I wanted to talk about regarding Koberger. One is more of one is more allowing me to vent my spleen a little bit because I'm kind of surprised that it hasn't come up often. Oh wait, I always like to recommend a movie, and I want to recommend a short documentary on Netflix called All the Empty Rooms. And it's about these it's a very short, it's about half an hour, and it's about the parents of who have lost children to gun violence, school shootings, gun violence, and they preserve their child's room as it was, and it's a beautiful,
very powerful,
moving, powerful. Yeah, very very simple but very powerful.
Yeah. Have you ever lost their kid to gun violence?
I have not lost a child to gun violence.
I mean, have you ever talked to someone who did?
Not from a school shooting. No, I've known people, and I've worked with people. Wow, you're bringing it up, so I guess we'll go there. I'll give you one. I had three workplace violence situations where there've been murders. Three, yeah. I work in the field. I can't tell you too much, but I work in the field. I'll tell you an example of my first one at in Queens, Veterans Home at St. Albans, Queens. Staff member. He was a sweet guy. He used to sing for the elderly, the elderly there. It's a veterans home for the elderly, and he shot our supervisor in the back of the head. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into all of that because I have some questions about Koberger, but why did you ask that? I'm curious about the gun violence. Tell me about that.
Because to personalize it for people that in the audience. We have to find a way to make each call, which is very personal to the caller, relevant to the people that are calling, that are watching. And so the idea is that I really like to personalize stories of gun violence because it's the mass murder thing in particular is such a plague deal with in this country, and I just think it's important to kind of humanize the effects that it can have. when when people are irresponsible with firearms.
Yeah, no, the closest thing to feeling that was with a child. I do have a child, and there was a situation at the school where they went on lockdown, and a kid brought a gun in the book bag, and so that was a very scary couple of hours to make sure that she was okay and that nothing had happened.
Yeah,
but
God, that's such a depressing story. Well, what did you want to know about? Thank you for sharing that. What did you want to know?
Of course.
I'm so sick of saying his name, but if we have to, what is it?
Two things. One, it's been bothering me for a while. Is this? And I'm a compassionate person, but this whole thing with Mel Koberger going into the New York Times, and I thought it was despicable. I thought it was disgusting. I thought it was performative. How dare she go to the New York Times with a new hairstyle, trying to look all goth and hip and cool with her purple hair, and tell the world that that her family still love their brother, and that they grieve for him over the holidays. Dr. Koberger, and Josh, this family.
You called me Dr. Kohlberger. You mean Dr. Brucato?
Look at that, Dr. Gary. Gary,
that's okay. Bundy.
The family dynamic there is very whacked out. It's very enmeshed. It's really sick. I think if anyone needs to be studied, it's not just Brian Koberger. It's that whole family dynamic. The mother keeping the holidays of the deceased in her calendar is very bizarre. Mel what Mel and the family should be doing if they're apologetic. They have this close, meshed, loving relationship that they're drawing heart pictures for him to look at while he's staring down at these poor families, and all he has to say, I would have lost so much money if I put a bet. I thought he was going to say he was sorry. I took off of work just to watch the victims' rights statements, and I thought I said, I even talked to some friends. I was like, he's going to apologize. He's going to grieve a little bit. For the only words for that scum to say is, I respectfully decline. It's so disgusting that Mel Koberger, who's a social worker, and the mother who wrote a paper called something about the hearse, applauding the hearse, about Ted Bundy when she lived in Brooklyn. She's following mass murders. They have the capacity to. I surely believe he did not. He pled guilty, Gary, not to spare his life. He did it because they're so sick, that family, that he did it for his family, to keep that family dynamic, and basically to make his parents happy. That he could tell them why he did this crime. Everybody desperately wants to know, even if it's a pathetic reason. And I think it's disgusting that she went to the New York Times. And I want to hear what you both have to say about that. And again, I'm a compassionate person. I told you I had a long relationship with Louise Bundy. But you know what? Louise Bundy did not go to Florida when her son Ted was executed. She stayed at her neighbor's house. Why? Because she knew it would be screwy. She didn't even want to support the son she loved so much to go to Florida and to be with him when he was executed. It's disgusting what Mel Koberger did. I hope she's listening to this. How dare you? You're a social worker. You should be ashamed of yourself. And that whole family should have shame, because they should be telling the world why he did this, because he could easily tell them. Because what Koberger is scared of the most is for his mother and father, as he calls them, and his two sisters who love him so much, they send him doodles of hearts so he can stare at them while the family are grieving. Anyway, let me stop, because it's so upsetting to me. I never despised someone so much, and I am such a compassionate person. I just think this guy and that family, they're so sick. They're so sick, and this Koberger, My God, I disagree. I'm glad he didn't get the death penalty. I want him to stay in prison and rot. I want him to live a long, rotting life. And I can't believe I'm saying these words. And I'm not gonna go to other subjects 'cause I'm so upset about this. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. And on a positive note, I want to say that the New Year's Eve show you did was so freaking great. And I'll tell you why. Think about it. You did like 4 or 5 hours of people together online with you. No one's there's no alcohol, there's no drinking, drugging. We all came together as like almost like a chat family. And it was such a beautiful thing you guys did with the New Year's Eve, and Chris was on there. And I'm sorry I got so upset with that. Koberger strikes a nerve with me, and I apologize I got so upset. But I do want to hear what you guys have to say about Mel making those disgusting statements on New York Times.
Well, I'll start. I think that it was pretty insensitive, when she was saying that, we miss him around the holidays and things like that. Unfortunately, that's their family. That's her brother. I thought that it was ill-timed and probably, I don't know. I didn't think it was really appropriate, but I'm not as offended by it as you, but I understand why somebody would be offended by it. And, it makes sense because there didn't seem to be a lot of compassion for, look, they can still talk to their brother. They can still send him cars. I'm sure they could visit him if they wanted to. And so, I get what you're saying and I understand that, but I don't think that, I didn't think that some of the things that she said were really appropriate and
No, they weren't.
That's how I felt.
It's too early. It's way too early.
I have a complicated. I want to be very careful about answering this question because, on the one hand, as I recall it, she did emphasize that there was no desire to be insensitive to the people who were affected, the victims, the families of victims, so forth. And I thought that was important. But I think where I can understand somebody having a feeling about it, of course, I understand you're upset about it, is the question of why it was necessary to say anything at all.
And to take pictures, to photograph herself looking like she's a rock star. I mean, come on.
Hold on. I think that it's very complicated because at least I am not someone who had a sibling that was convicted of something that was so horrible that my psyche might not be able to really grasp it, accept it, take it in fully if it's somebody that I loved and knew my whole life. And I think the way I saw it is that it was a kind of an attempt to try to say, like, from our perspective, we can't understand this. Like this is my brother. Like if I thought he did a terrible thing, I would have turned him in. I would have, and I didn't get mad about it as much as I saw it as it gives us a glimpse into what it must be like to be someone who has had a sibling who's been convicted of something so disgusting, so horrible, and who was on the other side of the whole world wanting this person's blood. And I think that it's hard. I think it's like a kind of trying to grasp it. But I understand that from a certain perspective, it feels kind of like anything that feels like kind of siding with somebody who did something so terrible is hard. It feels so. I don't know. Maybe I'm like a diplomatic type.
Well, also, I think about it like this.
I think that people aren't going out of their way to be horrible. Most people. But I understand. I understand, Joey, what you're feeling. I really do. I don't. dismiss it or condemn it or whatever. But I also think it's hard to understand what's motivating somebody to do that. I'm not in her mind. I don't know. But I didn't see her bash the victims or their families or anything. She tried to be sensitive to it. So it's a little hard. I can't imagine. And and she's a social worker. She's trying to take an empathic, understanding approach. And it's hard. But Joey, why do you think it has you so infuriated?
Oh, very.
Do you think there's any validity to what I said? Like if you try.
Well, there is, but you're giving her leeway. You're not going a little bit after that family.
I don't think that it was intended to be horrifying
But
I don't know.
Yeah. So you asked me why it made me upset. If for the same reason it made the whole world upset, and why the whole world continues to be very upset about this crime and this guy.
I'm trying to say that I would look what he did. Well,
is unbelievable.
That's a whole other story. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't know what it is to be someone who is trying to grapple with having a sibling that did a horrible, evil, miserable, awful, disgusting thing. And I just kind of think that's a psychological state that I don't understand. You see,
I don't
know. Yeah.
When you speak about Brian Koberger, and you're one of the first individuals. Actually, that's how I fell for you when I heard your before they arrested him. You had of course the infamous psychoanalysis of who this individual would be, and you nailed it, right? You nailed it. But I think when I think about why he makes me so upset.
Yeah, tell me.
I think this is what it is. And you have a lot of books. You said you're an avid reader, so you know the book. Crime and Punishment.
Yeah, it's my favorite.
Okay, then we could talk about this. He reminds me of that Raskolnikov. Okay, this guy, the murders. He murders the elderly woman in the building, the pawnbroker, just to see what murder feels like. He developed like a philosophical theory that certain extraordinary people have the right almost to transgress moral laws for like some kind of greater purpose.
But then
hubris.
He craves to be caught, to be punished, and nobody will listen to him.
That's debatable. I disagree, but that's what makes the novel so good. I don't think he wanted to get caught.
I think it bothered him that nobody would take seriously when he
just like Koberger, right? I think it bothered him. I think the same thing.
Oh, let me ask you a question really quick.
Yes, please.
Are we responsible for the sins of our relatives?
Are we responsible for the sins of our relatives?
Mel is not a murderer.
No, we're not. But if my relative did something like that within 2 years, 2022, I think this guy did that. Yeah. I'm not gonna style myself up like a rock star and go to New York Times and start saying, every year I grieve for my despicable brother or sister who killed these beautiful kids.
Here's the difference. You are you and she is her. Two different people. I get that you wouldn't do that, but she's not the only person that would have done it. I agree with you. I didn't like it. I thought that it was insensitive. I don't know what her motives were.
Exactly.
In our head, we don't understand.
That would be her, but I think that I think to be completely disgusted with her would be to, and I understand why you're upset with her, but I think that it misses the mark a little bit, because ultimately all this falls on Brian. All of it. If Brian hadn't done what he did, she would never have the opportunity to talk to anybody about it. It's Brian's fault. All of it. every last bit.
Well, and the other thing is that, and I think that's a really good point, Josh. And you're somebody who knows whereof he speaks, right? I mean, you have a relative.
I mean, look, as somebody who felt guilty for the crimes of their father for years, I mean, and it has taken me a long time to realize that it's, it isn't my fault. But I agree with the aspect of, going to, I like I said, I don't like it either. That, it's not about her, and I get that aspect of it, and maybe it just wasn't, it wasn't, I don't know, very self-aware of her, maybe, I don't know, but it's ultimately all Brian's fault to me.
Well, again, yes, the crime. But again, I'm talking about the person who went to the New York Times to do that op-ed. That's her fault. And let me tell you guys something. And Gary, you work in the field. There are inmates who commit heinous crimes.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes they don't make a choice to go to the local newspaper or write a book. You know what they do? Sometimes they become what's part of what's called restorative justice. They spend their lifetime trying to make amends with the families they have devastated. They just want to reach out. They want to have a sit down with them to say they're sorry or to have a relationship with them because they feel so horrible about what they've done. This person did not do that. You have choice. Mel Koberger has a whole life ahead of her and can make different choices than go to the New York Times and tell us how she grieves and the whole family grieves for their brother. And I don't want to know I don't want to know that she drew that doodle picture of him. I don't want to know that mom. If this was my family, I don't want to know that family are putting my families that the guy stabbed in the face and the head 66 times on their Google calendar so they can remember my family's birthday. That's really sick. Again, why don't you sit down with your brother, have some lunch, and ask him why he did it, because he'll tell you. If you're gonna cut visits off of that guy, he's gonna tell you, because all he's doing is wiping his Crocs in his cell, thinking about when mother and father can call him before he goes to the little dog cage, which they call the yard, so he can look up into the sky and hope that it's not too. I guess it ain't snowing over there.
In all seriousness, one of the things that I always try, to see something special in people, and one of the things that I like about you is that what fires you up is this sense of injustice. It drives you crazy. You get so agitated because.
And I apologize that I get upset like that.
You're such a sensitive soul that you get horrified. You remind me of the Beatitude that says, "Blessed are those who hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled." And I think that it is a beautiful thing that you have that that quality of authentically being so upset at this sort of lack of righteousness in people in the world, and the unfairness, and just wanting things to be even, and that's a beautiful thing. But the thing is that under that passion, you have to understand that a lot of people in this world are kind of on a kind of redemption arc and trying to make peace out of terrible things that they've been through or that they've done and all that. And the thing is, we don't understand the psychological process a person is going through who has had to come to grips with the reality that someone that came from this home that was, that by all accounts was sort of quiet and, kind of a garden variety, nobody would have ever thought of, and the next thing you know, you've got somebody who committed this heinous, disgusting quadruple murder, and who might have been looking at awful pornography and having horrible fantasies and whatever. And that's a kind of a shock that we don't understand what a person's going through who's trying to sort that out. And in a way, they might say, look, I know the whole public is sort of staring at us and thinking, boy, that person had to come from a bad home. And I want to kind of make people get an understanding of who we are. boy, you know, that this must have been a sick monster his whole life, and I want people to see that he isn't. That kind of thing. I think it was motivated by something like that. And the thing is, I've never been in the woman's shoes. I don't know, but I also understand that what you're feeling is a protectiveness, which I love, for the victims and their families who in this country and in this world often get short shrift. There does tend to be such an emphasis on the mugger that we don't think about the mugged. And so I love that you have that passion. You know what I mean? So it's like I think I really appreciate the fire that's under you. Let me put it that way.
I do too. And I understand it too. I mean, I get it.
But I also don't know what the heck is in a person's mind. You think they're insensitive and whatever. People are entitled to that opinion. But like I thought about that stuff also with like when Dahmer's father wrote a book. I thought a lot about that, about what that was about and what kind of story narrative he was dealing
Or when you
with.
talk about how his son was a good kid.
Right.
He wasn't.
Right. You know.
Well, but Gary and Josh, Dahmer expressed remorse. He even if people didn't want to believe it, he did express it. He gave us that.
Let's just say
Kohlberg
that
gave us
Dahmer-
nothing like that.
Let's just say that when Dahmer was being dunked during the baptism, I wouldn't have put my finger too near his mouth. I didn't trust that guy's conversion.
I agree.
Because I heard stories about people in prison with him, and he would say some holy roller thing like through the bars to a guard or something, and then would turn around and make a mocking face like nah, 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 nah. You know, it's like the person next to him. I think it was sort of fake. But some people have authentic conversions, but I didn't buy his. You see what I mean? I didn't buy it. But
I'll let
that's
other
another-
callers get in, but I'll tell you
But
one
you're a very
positive
nice
thing.
guy, and I love the passion, and keep it up, and
Yeah.
you know, keep
I'm
calling.
a New Yorker. That passion is just me being a loudmouth. But let me tell you a positive thing I will leave you guys with is the families. It's so beautiful. I have never seen it done before. What all the Idaho 4 families do. They keep those 4 kids alive every day. Every day they're posting these beautiful images of all of them. They create scholarships. They keep. I've never seen such a beautiful thing that all those families do on a daily basis. That when I think about that, as much as I get upset about Koberger, I see those beautiful kids, and it's probably what gets me so upset because God bless those families. Those families. Obviously, all of them, not just Mr. Gonzalez, but all of them. They're working in unison to sue the school. Of course, that might not be.
Wow.
It'll bring attention to problems within the politics of schools.
To go back to that Sermon on the Mount.
Yeah.
Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Now, listen. Let's move on to the next one. But Joey, I love
thanks.
the call, and
Joey. Thank you, man.
Yeah,
okay?
thank you. I'll be another subject about robot dogs next time or something. Listen, take care.
I've seen them in person. They're terrifying. But I love the Beatitudes. Read them sometime. Okay, take care. All right. So now there's one person in the audience who said that they were holding on too long and sort of lost their patience. So I guess we're not going to talk about Quan.
Well, that's fine. It happens. But I'm trying to keep up with the story.
Is Quan still there?
No.
They said they had to hold on. They
He's
had
not.
a question. They're mad. Okay, whatever.
Yeah, that's
all right. Whatever. They were like, I have no time for this anymore.
Okay, well, that's how it works.
What do you want me to do? We were putting a fire out. Okay.
I thought the call was good.
So did I. I loved it. I
Where?
loved it. Good fire.
Okay, hold on. Where is it being reported that this Carlos subject has been released? I see
I heard
everybody
that
talking
too, but
about it.
I heard it.
I'm looking and I cannot find it. Now, I JLR. Well, look,
I don't. I just see the person being detained, but I don't see the person being released. So maybe somebody can send us a link. They're more than well. Oh, it's JRL Live. It's the live stream that JRL does. JLR does. He's another one that's amazingly sort of always everywhere.
He interviewed him? Oh, wait. This is true. Hold on. Gary. All right. Check this out.
We have somebody holding.
Yeah, but I mean, I got to play this. I have to.
That's where this guy, he has to register because he's a level. I don't watch.
Right.
I don't watch.
You don't watch the Today Show.
No.
So this was a complete shock.
It was.
What
kind
was-
of questions were they asking you? Nothing. They didn't ask me no questions.
So they just said
nothing. They
so they
just sent me in the car. They investigated my car and this one, and that's it. They didn't ask me no questions. No nothing.
Did you get the other car back, or they still have it?
No, it's right there.
Oh, they gave it back to you. So
Yeah, it's like.
and they said you can go home.
Yeah.
And how did they treat like the people you were with, your girl, your child?
I don't want to speak.
Yeah, not understood. Yep.
How's your family? They
Well, they're all
scared
in
everybody. I was gonna say they scared everybody, huh?
Yeah, they're all in shock right now.
Wow.
Did they damage the house? Yeah.
What did they do to the
They
house?
broke the doors. What else? The garage door in the back. Yeah.
So what are you gonna do now?
I'll try to clear my name. I didn't do anything.
Well,
Can
this
you
is
tell
one
me
of the-
again? And that's done. I mean, I hope they get the suspect because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name. And I'm done. Look at what I'm putting my family through.
You're on
Not just
national
them,
news now.
Not just them. Even my parents in Tucson.
Right.
Yeah.
And your mother-in-law was worried about you. She was saying it doesn't look anything like him.
Yeah.
Is this the strangest case of all time?
No, but it's weird.
It's up there.
Why do you think they?
Strangest case of all time. It's just that it got a lot of media
Dude,
attention.
I mean, come on, this is nuts. It's. I know it's the strangest case of all time was hyperbole, but I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, if I would have known that answer, I would have given it to you, but I don't.
So you have no idea what led them to you. Nothing. They didn't
Nothing.
give. They didn't say car make, a license, nothing.
Nada.
Carlos, ¿hablas español?
Los dos. Soy bilingüe.
Carlos, si nos puedes platicar en español para Telemundo Arizona, ¿qué fue lo que sucedió?
Pues me estaban acusando de secuestro, algo que yo no hice. Y me. I'm done.
Okay.
What's your name?
Sorry, what's your name, sir?
Carlos, una en español, por favor.
Gracias, Carlos. Gracias.
That is so much firepower to release a guy in 2 or 3 hours, kicking the door. I mean,
Dude, are you going to sue them?
what did I say? But what did I say before about? Remember when the whole Charlie Kirk investigation? They detained a guy, and everybody's like, "Hey, we got our guy."
You going to sue them?
Well, you know what bothers me, and I just want to be very, very
That
careful.
is crazy.
No.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I just don't like I don't like when cases become part of political theater. That's the whole thing. And,
I'm
informative,
and I-
go in with the big gun, I don't, and I've seen it in a few cases. And there's a kind of politicization, certain cases that become more interesting to the public or used, to kind of keep the public interested. And, that really bothers me. And of course, there are other cases that should have enormous political effects that we're kind of not even talking about. So it's complicated. It's complicated. But
Well, here's the call, Joetta.
Yeah.
Hi, Gary. After this, I'll let you go. I know you're tired.
Who is this that's calling?
Joetta. Is that right? Did I pronounce it?
Yes, you did. Perfect.
Joetta Libby.
Yep.
Okay.
that's me.
That's one? Okay. So how would you like us to call you?
Joetta's fine.
Okay.
So I was wondering what you thought about the prior home invasions that were done with the ruse of the Amazon package. Because
Oh,
part of
you mean nearby to the
right,
uh-huh.
right. Because there was an Amazon package outside the front door when the blood spots Brian Eaton had gotten that.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was watching the video of the man walking up, I didn't see the package down there. So could somebody have used that as a ruse to get her to come to the door and then done whatever that could have splattered the blood on the ground?
At 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning? I mean, listen, Amazon
Well, I
delivers at
don't know
late
about that.
hours, but they don't come at 1 or 2
Right.
o'clock in the morning. You know, I mean, you get what I'm saying? I mean, we gotta take that into consideration.
Yeah.
That wouldn't make a lot of sense. But if it had happened in broad daylight, yeah, you know, it's an interesting
Right.
question. Look, I definitely think that right now, until we have more information, I think it's good that they're thinking outside the box and kind of thinking of ruses and tricks and whatever. Yes, that's good. But we also have to be reasonable, right? Like, that we're probably dealing at least part of the story involves somebody who had some more intimate knowledge of this person's life,
Right.
home, and so forth. And so I think that that's important. But you raise an interesting question. I think that's probably unrelated.
Mhm.
I think it's probably unrelated. Pima County, where this happened, they're experiencing a rise in crime, as I
Right.
understand it. They have a considerable number of homicides every year.
I hear it doesn't help that their like police force supposedly only has the majority of them only have like a couple years experience on the job.
Right. Well, all I'm saying is that I think that, how do I say this? I think that it's not exactly a place where, like, it's shocking that there'd be a crime. So,
Mhm.
like, the idea, it's not like a Norman Rockwell painting town where,
Right.
somebody uses a ruse a few blocks away to steal something, so they must be the same guy who's committing this thing over here. I mean, believe it or not, there's a lot of crime,
Yeah.
particularly homicide, so I don't think it's so shocking. You know what I mean? You could have two
Yeah.
things happen in the same kind of place. And I just think
Totally.
it's like a red herring. But it's an interesting question because, I mean, I like the way you're thinking, but I just think those two things aren't linked.
Yeah, that the
But
time frame was the only thing I was questioning too.
right. But this thing of this man that was questioned, I have no idea the details of this and the
Well,
whole
that
what
yeah,
this is
you're right.
about. We don't know yet. I mean, we just have a guy coming out going like, I didn't do anything and they let me go. And I don't know what it means. I only know that if this turned out to be a thing, it was going to be really complicated to link with the clues that were available so far. And it started
Right.
pointing to this like network of, random personages that, whatever. And so now at least it's starting to make sense again. Like that this is, that this might have been, just a person of interest who's unrelated. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and we have no idea. None. Now the guy seems so befuddled. I mean, it's
Well, they all do.
family is just like, what? Yeah. So, but
Yeah.
I just get upset about it because what was bothering me is that when there was this person was detained, immediately I started hearing things like, see, I knew it would be an immigrant. See, I knew, whatever. And this infuriates me because, like, have you ever looked up the statistics on immigrant homicide? It's like a couple of hundred.
Well, yeah, using it for political fodder is
Yeah.
That's the thing. So it drives me crazy, it's that classic kind of heuristic where they make such a focused discussion of a case of it that you start thinking there's like a
Everywhere.
pandemic event but like it's like statistically, it's really rare.
Yeah.
So like it kind of bothers me that kind of getting the tiki torch and going out and kind of like Frankenstein movie and going out
Everybody showing up on his
scares
doorstep.
you.
Yeah.
Right. So I just think we have to be careful with that. Careful
Yeah.
maybe I'm very
What
diplomatic.
did I say at the beginning of the show?
Right. What?
I said, remember when the Charlie Kirk thing, man?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody thought that the
That
first
same
guy that
guy.
they arrested was the guy. They're like, we got our
Right.
guy. It's like some
Right. You see, now,
70-year-old
now you see immediately in the audience, you have to tell that to Lincoln Riley. Okay. Now let me be clear. Yes, there are some cases where this happens, but it's rare. It is
Right.
not. So what you do, if you point out one case of something, what is that proving? That millions of people have to be, that's what bothers me.
You're
You
comparing
know what I'm
apples-
saying?
you're
But
comparing
you know
apples.
what's funny? You know what's funny? I mean,
Hmm.
I'm not going to get into this, but you know what's funny? If you say ICE is responsible for some people dying, you know what the answer will be?
What?
Oh, you're going to blame the whole group for 2 people that died?
Well, yeah,
Right, so it's a hypocrisy. It's a
anything with a broad brush
hypocrisy.
is dumb.
Because the fact of the matter is that in the final analysis, we have to have judgment where you can have people that are an exception, but you don't loathe an entire group.
Right.
And so let's just remember that, because it bothers me. We have to be careful in our judgments, not judge entire groups. We're supposed to be intelligent. You see what I'm saying? Intelligent people understand that things are not black and white. They're not
Right.
black and white in this world. So, but what I'm saying is, I think it's important to look at these things, but I also think that it's a terrible thing when, as soon as somebody is detained or whatever, you go, see, I told you. That bothers me. I don't like that.
Yeah,
Right.
Because it's ignorant, to be honest.
I get it.
But anyway, so thank you. I hope you, Josh, you echo what I'm.
Of course, yeah.
Can I tell
I
you a
come from him,
story about my name?
so I'm sensitive to it. Yeah.
So my name is Joetta, and I was named after my great aunt and my great uncle, my
Oh.
Uncle Joe and my Aunt Etta. And when my mom was 12 years old, my aunt had asked her if she ever had a little girl, she would name her Joetta Virginia.
Mhm.
And so the night before I was born, she called my great aunt, and asked her. I was named, obviously, that. And when my aunt passed away, she was put in a crypt with my Uncle Joe, and the mortuary had said that there was room for 2 urns to go in with their 2 caskets.
Oh.
Me joking and being 17 and a smartass, I was like, oh, so when I get married, I'll marry a Joe, and then when we die, we can be cremated and put in with my Uncle Joe and my Aunt Etta. And then
Aw.
so whoever I marry and Joetta. And 5 years later, I met and married my husband, and he's a Joe.
Oh, I love it. And I like that you're the Joetta, the little Joetta, little Joe, It's
Yeah,
it's
and in
adorable.
fact, my aunt and uncle's last name was Giovanni.
Oh, really? There
Uh-huh.
you go. Giovanni.
Yep.
I love it. Well, listen, thank you for calling. And let me be clear. I like to be so middle of the road, that I also don't like the idea of giving the impression that I have negative feelings about people who are anxious about issues like immigration or whatever. I just think I just like to be very fact based, and from a statistical perspective, it feels like something
I was born
that
and
perhaps
raised.
is being blown out of proportion for some culture war kind of issue. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Southern California, so I get it.
Oh, but I get it. But I also understand that you can't that it's an issue that's going to need serious reform. That's
Exactly.
right. So there has to be a balancing act, right?
Definitely.
But I'm amazed sometimes at the way people react. You're like, let's try to be kind to people, and the reaction is like, "What are you, crazy?" Like, like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm sorry, but, like, I think kindness is like a pretty good philosophy.
Yeah.
I'm not sorry. I'm not giving it up.
Me being from Southern California, when I moved to North Carolina, the first time we moved into the street, the first day we were moving stuff in, everybody from the street came over and introduced themselves to me, and I was like, no, Thank you. I'm from Southern California, lived next door to the same people for 14 years and did not know their name. I'll let you know when I want to talk, but now I love the
Right.
Southern hospitality. It's amazing.
Well, look, in every group, including, any group you name, there's going to be some people who do terrible crimes. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Do you have
Any group.
patients tomorrow?
What happened?
Do you have patients tomorrow?
No. I have other things, but not patients.
Oh, okay.
But
Well,
anyway,
I'll let you
thank
guys
thank you,
go.
Joyce. It was a pleasure to talk to you, and
Hey.
sorry if I was,
Oh no, you're good. You're
Yeah,
I
you
just
know what? Next show,
about it. Yeah.
next show, Dr. Gary, maybe you can talk to us about your views on abortion. I
Never discussed that.
I'm kidding, but
I don't see this as a view. I just see it as me
I know, I
saying,
was joking.
let's just be based in statistics and be careful in our judgmental, attitudes.
Yeah,
I don't see that as an opinion. I just think that's like basic human 101.
This is crazy.
So is there anybody else that's
No,
on?
that's it. Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
We're done. I was going to let you go to bed. I know you've had a long night.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it. And
I'm going to play a couple other things from like News Nation and stuff, but other than that, I'm wrapping up. So,
well, don't you want me to stay till the end? Or
if you want to, you don't.
You're gonna be like, God help us, thank God.
No, I'm just figuring you're tired. So,
Yeah. Well, I am tired, but
Yeah.
what are you? I'm just curious, Josh. Do you think that sounded soapboxy, or do you agree? Like it's just basic human. Like don't make judgments based on race.
Do I agree with what you said?
I want you to echo me.
About what?
That what I'm saying is that I'm just saying, like, on the one hand, it's very, very important that we understand that we need immigration reform. That's a very realistic thing. And there are terrible cases that have involved people that should not have been here, that did awful things. But at the same time, they are very rare. And we have a long, rich history of millions of innocent people that immigrated here. And so that I think the idea of painting everybody with a broad brush is a little.
I'm a first generation Mexican American. Of course I agree.
There you go. And I'm from immigrants too. So I'm sensitive about it, but I don't like being put into a political box.
That's what
I don't identify that way. I just see it as like I'm a human being and I'm confused why there's this conflation of and it comes across like fear mongering.
Well, I hate when terrible situations like this are used for political fodder. Either way, it doesn't matter to me.
Well, I just got set off by people, like as soon as this person was detained, doing the "see, I told you so." Like that drives me crazy. I just think it's silly. You know what I'm saying?
Actually, yeah, second generation. Excuse me, second generation.
Oh, you're okay. You're right. So that's all.
Well, I don't know because my dad came when my dad wasn't born here.
Right.
So I don't know. Is that first or second?
Well, all I know is I'm glad you're here.
I was born here.
Right. I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad that people brought.
Now
you
my father was legal. I mean, after he came.
Well, that's the distinction, right? We're talking about. There's see, that's the whole thing, because illegal immigration is complicated because it's a mixture of people who are here because they're like fleeing, gang activity and seeking asylum and whatever, and people that are here because they're looking to commit, murder and assault and the conflation of them is a misunderstanding of and unfortunately we live in a time when people don't do nuance. You understand? It's like everything's a soundbite.
Yeah.
And that's
no, I agree. I don't know. Yes, my mother was born here, but I think I'm either first or second. I don't know.
I guess what I'm saying is that nuance is important when it comes to these things. Nuance.
They want you to do a quote, by the way. Do you have
what am I supposed to? Maybe I'll read let's see. You want to recite something?
Well, it's up to you, really.
Oh God, what would I read? Let's see. Maybe I'll read "Rowing" by Anne Sexton. I love that poem. Do you know that poem?
I don't.
Do you know Anne Sexton?
I do.
Let's see. You do? Yeah, I love her. She's like a literary favorite of mine, along with Emily Dickinson. Let's see. It's a weird poem, but it's beautiful. You sure you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Okay. Poetry hour. Okay. So let's see. Oh God. Dear Lord. Yeah, good. I'm glad people are getting my point about nuance. Okay. It's a beautiful poem, a nice one to contemplate. It goes like this. A story. A story. Let it go, let it come. I was stamped out like a Plymouth fender into this world. First came the crib with its glacial bars, then dolls and the devotion to their plastic mouths. Then there was school, the little straight rows of chairs blotting my name over and over, but under sea all the time, a stranger whose elbows wouldn't work. Then there was life with its cruel houses and people who seldom touched, though touch is all. But I grew, like a pig in a trench coat I grew. And then there were many strange apparitions, the nagging rain, the sun turning into poison and all of that, saws working through my heart. But I grew, and God was there like an island I had not rowed to. Still ignorant of him, my arms and my legs worked, and I grew, and I grew. I wore rubies and bought tomatoes, and now in my middle age, about 19 in the head, I'd say, I am rowing, though the oarlocks stick and are rusty and the sea blinks and rolls like a worried eyeball. I am rowing, though the wind pushes me back, and I know that that island will not be perfect. It will have the flaws of life, the absurdities of the dinner table, but there will be a door, and I will open it, and I will get rid of the rat inside me, the gnawing pestilential rat. God will take it with his two hands and embrace it. As the African says, this is my tale which I have told. If it be sweet, if it be not sweet, take somewhere else and let some return to me. This story ends with me still rowing.
That's beautiful. That really
Isn't
is.
that beautiful? God, I love that poem. And you know, that's what this conversation is about. This whole country's doing it. We're rowing toward some kind of understanding, and we're going to need some kind of transformation of the heart. And I don't condemn anybody because I think people are scared. People are scared, and when they're scared, they gravitate towards what they perceive to be strength and black and white thinking because they're terrified. See? But the final analysis, we'll all get to that island, and we just have to keep rowing toward it. We have to see everything as a kind of growing pain. And you know, but and I'm sorry I get passionate about these things. You know, it's funny. I feel kind of like Joey getting passionate about something. But hey, you know,
You're allowed to. That's, I mean, look, you know, and when people call in and they're heated about something, or that's part of a call-in show.
I know
it's a big part. I mean, that's just how it is, and it's not a big deal. I know some people are like, they get like, oh, tell this person to calm down. Well, you know, look, we're the ones talking to them, so.
I don't understand what Kelsey's talking about. What lady at the bus station? What's she talking about?
The one that you told, the one that had the pituitary gland problem.
No, she's talking about
your old ex-fiance.
I don't know who she's talking about. God only knows, but it's sure.
She's talking about the bus station lady.
She just likes funny stories.
She's talking about the gas station lady that picked you up and you wrapped your legs around her waist.
No, she's talking about when I said stay strong. Stay strong. That one?
Yeah, the lady that had the haircut like a young man.
Stay strong. Right. What is the person on the screen saying? Carlos released from. Oh, okay. I thought. Well, look, I always love when you invite me. I hope I didn't, overstay my welcome. I admit that I'm a little punchy.
That's
I
all right. That's
I'm
fine.
like 5 minutes from like hallucinating Buddha.
I really want to get some stuff.
I've been up for too many, but no, I'm not. But I appreciate it. And are we doing a Valentine's Day show?
Yes, we are.
Oh no.
Oh,
We're
yeah,
gonna
we are.
we're gonna do another one of those like when love goes wrong shows.
Those are the best kinds.
God, dear Lord. Well, last time we ran, I mean, fortunately, we'll never run out of stories that we could share on a show like that. Are we doing a call in on Valentine's Day?
Probably.
Oh dear God.
Do a bit of both. I mean,
What day of the week is that? I didn't even know.
you want me to read the super sticker? You're amazing. That was beautiful. Love you, Dr. Gary.
Oh,
That's what Heather said. I didn't say that, but
well,
thank you
thank
for the super sticker.
do you believe these things that people say to me? Are you kidding me? I can't get somebody to talk to me if I pay them. These people are hilarious. Anyway, listen, Josh. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, man.
And there's more to this story. This story is unraveling.
It's not going away anytime soon.
It is unraveling fast, and it's going to be a busy couple of days. I have a feeling I'll be all over the news, talking about it. Okay. Thanks.
All right, Dr. Gary. Sleep well. Thank you for coming on. All right. Let me see here. Thank you for an excellent chat, Josh and Dr. G. I haven't been here in a while. I've been out of the country. Everyone here is wonderful. I'll be looking forward to your next one. I'll be here. Thank you. Well, I'm not leaving yet, but I'm going to here in a few. There's a couple things that let's see here. Let's see. I'm just going to play this again because
Not understood. Yep.
How's your family? They
Well, they're all
scared
in
everybody. I was gonna say they scared everybody, huh?
Yeah, they're all in shock right now.
Questions were they asking you?
I don't follow the news.
Right.
I don't watch.
You don't watch the Today Show.
No.
So this was a complete shock.
It was.
What kind of questions were they asking you?
Nothing. They didn't ask me no questions.
So they
nothing,
just said
nothing. They
so they
just sent
took
me in the car. They investigated my car and this one, and that's it. They didn't ask me no questions. No nothing.
Did you get the other car back, or they still have it?
No, it's right there.
Oh, they gave it back to you. So
yeah, it's like.
And they said you can go home.
Yeah.
And how did they treat like the people you were with, your girl, your child? Yeah, not understood. Yep.
How's your family? They
Well, they're all
scared
in
everybody. I was gonna say they scared everybody, huh?
Yeah, they're all in
I mean, I honestly cannot believe.
shock right now.
Wow.
Did they damage the house? Yeah.
What did they do to the
They
house?
broke the doors. What else? The garage door in the back.
Not questioned.
So what are you gonna do now?
I'll try to clear my name. I didn't do anything.
Well,
Can you
this
tell
is
us
one
your
of
name
the-
again? And then, I mean, I hope they get the suspect because I'm not it. They better do their job and find the suspect that did it so they can clear my name.
I mean, I'm
done. Look at what I'm putting my family through.
You're on
Not just
national
them,
news now.
Not just them. Even my parents in Tucson. Yeah.
And your mother-in-law was worried about you. She was saying it doesn't look anything like him.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm telling you guys.
Why do you think they came here? Why did you think they came to you?
If I would have known that answer, I would have given it to you. But I don't.
I don't know. I don't know if he can sue unless they have like. Who knows what the reason was that they did this, but now there's the mother-in-law was saying that they didn't have a warrant, that they didn't need a warrant. I don't understand that. The whole warrant situation that's been discussed on this show, or not on this show, but in this case, for everything is so weird to me because it doesn't really make any sense that you would be doing this stuff without a warrant. Now, unless he says he wasn't questioned, so I don't know if that's true or not.
So you have no idea what led them to you. Nothing. They didn't get. They didn't say car make, a license, nothing.
So if this, you would, yes, you would need a warrant, but, and I'm not getting political, but I have heard that certain organizations are not using judicial warrants, that they're self-writing warrants. And I don't know if that's the case here or not, but they all need to be judicial warrants.
Nada.
Carlos, ¿hablas español?
Dos. Soy bilingüe.
Carlos, ¿nos puedes platicar en español para Telemundo Arizona qué fue lo que sucedió?
Pues me estaban acusando de secuestro, algo que yo no hice. Y me... I'm done.
Okay.
What's your name?
Sorry, what's your name, sir?
Carlos, una
Carlos.
en español, por favor.
Gracias, Carlos. Gracias,
It's not him.
Por favor, a ver.
Dude, are you going to sue them? Are you going to sue them? Oh, that is crazy.
That's Carlos? That's Carlos.
That's Carlos, man. They got the wrong guy.
Can you say his last name?
Yo, that's crazy.
Can you say his last name at any point?
Yo, it's not him. Holy smokes. What in the heck? Dude, this is not over.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, is that the warrant situation is not, it needs to be done judicially. Well, just because they're not but they're still doing it. So, you know, I mean, they're writing their own search warrants, which is against the law.
Oh my goodness. Share that out. That is crazy. Yo, that was clipped. That is crazy. Wait, we got another person out here? We got anybody else out here that's affiliated? Yo, that's crazy.
So if they went into this man's house without a legitimate warrant, he can sue. Absolutely.
What just happened?
That's crazy. Dude, thoughts, folks. I thought they got him. They let him go. Yo,
I've never seen anything like that.
Holy smokes. Dude, it's not him.
Well, I mean, if you disagree with me about the judicial warrants, just wait till it hits the courts. So it's completely against the Constitution. I mean, I don't even care if you disagree with me. It's not the way things are done.
What in exact happened? What? I'm confused.
I had a feeling. What did I say at the beginning of this show? I said, what happened in the Charlie Kirk? They detained the wrong guy.
Who's here? Is he the one that they say? Holy smokes.
Let me see. Dr. Gary was on the interview room earlier. The panel explained if they think Nancy is in a house, they can go in without a warrant. I agree with you completely. It should require a warrant. They can go in without a warrant. I mean, I mean, I guess I don't know. So what happens if they're wrong, though? What happens if they're wrong and they put everybody through, you know? I mean, just because they think somebody might be in the house, is that probable cause?
Yo, this is insanity.
I agree.
Yo, I don't even know what to say. Yo, they literally screwed up. Did that?
Yes, they can get electronic warrants through they don't have to actually physically go in to a a judge's chambers. I mean, they can get an electronic one.
Hey.
We were just watching this guy be interviewed, and that was it. I haven't been watching JLR.
You were with your girl, your child. Yeah, not understood. Yep.
How's your family? They
Well, they're
scared
already
everybody.
But he's the person of interest that was detained and I believe taken into custody. Says he wasn't questioned. I do? About what? I have no. What do I sound foolish about?
I was gonna say they scared everybody, huh?
Yeah, they're all in shock right now.
Wow.
Did they damage the house?
What did they do to the
They
house?
broke the doors. What else? The garage door in the back.
So what are you gonna do now?
I'll try to clear my name. I didn't do anything.
Well,
Can
this
you
is
tell
one
me
of the-
again? And that's I mean, I hope they get the suspect because I'm not it. They better do their job and find
I was just wondering what I sounded foolish about.
the suspect that did it so they can clear my name. And I'm done. Look at what I'm putting my family through.
You're on
Not just
national
them,
news now.
Not just them. Even my parents in Tucson. Yeah.
So they went to his parents' house in Tucson.
And your mother-in-law was worried about you. She was saying it doesn't look anything like him.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm telling you guys.
Why do you think they came here? Why did you think they came to you?
If I would have known that answer, I would have given it to you, but I don't.
So you have no.
Well, look, this has happened before. I think in the Brian Laundrie case, I think they kicked in the door of a guy who had nothing to do. That had nothing to do with it.
No idea what led them to you. Nothing. They didn't
Nothing.
They didn't say car make, a license, nothing.
Nada.
Carlos, ¿hablas español?
Los dos. Soy bilingüe.
Carlos, si nos puedes platicar en español para Telemundo Arizona, ¿qué fue lo que sucedió?
Pues me estaban acusando de secuestro, algo que yo no hice. Y me...
She's telling him be quiet. Let's see. Let's see. They absolutely can search off a hunch. They absolutely. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm saying that they're not supposed to. It's the Fourth Amendment. It's what it is. You know, not just a hunch or a suspicion or I mean, you can look it up. I'm not saying that they don't do it. I'm saying that they're not supposed to. It's not supposed to be done that way. And I don't know why he was detained. We don't know why he was detained, but
I'm done.
Okay.
What's your name?
Sorry, what's your name, sir?
Carlos.
Gracias,
Not him. Dude, are you gonna sue them? Are you gonna sue them? Oh, that is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Let me look, if they thought that this was their guy, he would not be he wouldn't have been released and put back into his home. I'm sure they went through his property and everything. I was kind of thinking that as well. Oh, well, I don't know if they got it wrong. It just seems like that's not their guy. I mean, he was released, and I think that you can hold somebody on suspicion, but I do think that to search someone's property, you're going to need more than a hunch. Like, oh, she may be in there. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. Who pays for the? I don't know. I think I'm not sure. It's a good question. I think you're left with it. Maybe property insurance. Well, that's a hell of a move, I got to tell you. I can't believe he's released. All right, I'm going to play Inton and then we'll wrap it up here.
Please click to subscribe. What an insane couple of.
I think if it's it's unreasonable, then yeah, but I just don't know. And once again, and I did see somebody in the chat. We don't know. We don't know what their suspicion was of him, if they actually had good suspicion. And they're allowed to be wrong. Does it make it a problem? Well, yeah, of course.
Hours it has been. I am now in Rio Rico, Arizona.
And they're wrong sometimes.
Arizona, which is about an hour from, maybe a little more than an hour from Tucson, very close to the border, very close to the Mexico border. And behind me, they've got this road closed because this is where they brought a man into custody, detained a man who they believe may know something or be connected to the Nancy Guthrie case.
I don't know. I didn't say that. I just said, I was just talking to somebody about the specific thing that they said. I told you, I don't know. I don't know if they had a warrant. I don't know what the probable cause, if they had probable cause. I have no idea.
This is just a quiet area along the highway. His house, the subject's house, is behind this crime scene tape. And I am told, and I'm going to get in a second here to an interview I did with this subject's mother-in-law, but she told me that he was with his wife and they were doing DoorDash close by when he was pulled over and taken into custody for questioning connected to the Nancy Guthrie case. This mother-in-law who owns the house where the search warrant is happening right now insists that they know nothing about Nancy Guthrie. She is defending her son-in-law She told me that he was home last Saturday and Sunday, and that there's no way he was in Tucson. And
I don't think that I said it wasn't a big deal. Did I? Did I say? I don't think I said that.
She says,
I said that they're allowed to be wrong because they have been before.
That he doesn't know anything about Bitcoin. She basically denied everything, and you're going to hear her interview in a second. But I just want to show you guys. It took me, I mean, I raced down here because I had a source tell me, get to Rio Rico. That's where they made the, that's where they brought the guy into custody. And so I got down here, I saw the flashing lights right off the highway, and the house again is right down here. And my source is also telling me that they have not located Nancy Guthrie, which kind of goes without saying, but you know, there was a lot of just sort of excitement initially. Like, could this be leading to, you know, finding Nancy Guthrie quickly? And it sounds like that's not the case. They have not located Nancy Guthrie, but there's a lot going on here. I want to play for you. I'm going to get to my retired FBI agent friend who is going to help me break down everything that I witnessed tonight. But I first want to get to the mother-in-law of the subject who is being questioned right now, and I want you to hear everything that she told me out here.
I want the subject that has been detained for people that are just coming in has been released.
I don't know else. What's his name? It's Carlos Palazuelo. Doesn't have nothing to do with it either. I don't know what else to say. Yeah. They're just invading my property. I told them they're going in and out of my house, taking a lot of pictures and everything. I mean, like I told them, we're not hiding anything. I give them permission. You can go and search. There's nothing in my house. You won't find anything because we don't have nothing to hide.
Is this your son-in-law's vehicle?
The one that was on the side of the, that's my daughter's vehicle.
So what is your son's name?
My daughter.
Your daughter?
Yeah, that's
So you live in, it's her husband. So it's your son-in-law.
Yeah,
who
my
they
son.
took away.
Yeah.
Carlos.
Palazuelos, yeah. He has nothing to do with that
Did he
either.
ever say anything about Nancy Guthrie?
Nothing. We never, like I told the FBI, the investigator, if I knew anything about her, I said I saw her on Facebook, but I didn't read what was going on with her because I don't know her and I don't have the right to. I mean, if I don't know anybody, I won't read the story. I just go over, keep on going on my phone because I don't know her.
So how did this all happen?
I don't know.
Were you home when this they
No, I was coming from Tucson when they had my son outside the house. They broke in my house without a warrant or nothing. They broke my door. They went inside my house. My son was playing on Nintendo. He had his headphones on. They got him and put him in that cuff and took him outside. And then they asked him, what's going on? There isn't anything. Do you have a search warrant? They said they didn't have any search warrant by then. And they still ask him, do you still have a search warrant? And they don't give me an answer.
Does your son-in-law ever go to Tucson?
He works in Tucson.
What does he do?
He's a delivery guy. He does FedEx or something like that.
Okay.
That's what he works on.
And so you're not allowed to go home right now?
No, they wanted us in. They keep on going in and out of my house, taking pictures. And I don't know why. I mean,
Your son was the one that was detained.
yeah, he was detained for, they showed me a video to see if it was him. To see if he, yeah, he's my son-in-law. If I recognize the thing he was wearing, he doesn't have any of that. He doesn't have anything that comes on the video.
Was it surveillance footage?
From the house, I think. Yeah, they showed me that picture.
What surveillance video did they show you? I'm sorry.
One outside of
from
the lady.
Nancy's house.
Yeah,
Does that look like him?
No, it doesn't look like him. No, not at all.
Has he ever been in trouble?
No. Well, he was when he was underage.
Okay, but nothing serious. Anything serious?
No, nothing serious.
How old is he?
¿Cuándo es el Carlos?
36.
36, yeah.
So are they waiting on a search warrant now?
I don't know. I've been asking for the search warrant. They haven't said anything. They can't tell me nothing. They don't say anything. I mean, I know that it's been going on in all the news, but what can I do?
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do. That's why I came to talk to you to let everybody know that there's nothing had to do with my house. I don't know
Is
where
this
the
your daughter?
She's my daughter-in-law.
Okay.
The tip came from up there, Tucson or Maran, I don't know who told. They gave my address, but really, I told him you can go into my house. It's a small house. I have nothing to hide in my house. There's nothing to find there. I mean,
was he stopped in his car? Do you know?
And my daughters, they were doing DoorDash.
They were together doing DoorDash.
Yeah, with their kids on the car.
And what happened?
They just detained them here at the besides the frontage road here.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Let me see here. Hold on. That's sort of my point. So I don't understand. So if they showed up, kicked their door in, and then they said, "Can we search?" Oh, that doesn't make any sense. But I think to kick somebody's door in, you would, and to detain people. Well, I don't know about detaining people, but who friggin' knows?
Yeah.
So
they just let my daughter
We'll wait for more of the stuff to come out.
go with my grandkids.
They were together doing DoorDash and they got stuck pulled over.
By a Marana couple.
And your daughter called you. Is that how you found out?
Who called me? No, the lady, one of the workers told her that I had my daughter detained over there with his husband and the kids.
Is your daughter detained also?
No, she left go with the kids already.
Okay. What did she say about it?
Well, it's nothing to say. I haven't talked to her there.
I mean, I don't know if you. There's a thing. It's called a no-knock warrant, and so, I don't know. I don't know if they had one or not. You know what I think about that sometimes too. It's like when he takes it's like the menu from the Chinese restaurant.
Let me even go to see what's wrong. They took my phone away. They took her phone.
They took your phone?
The kid's phone, her phone, his phone, my phone, my husband's phone, everybody's phone. So,
Yeah, and there's no reason to fight. I get it. Everybody feels differently about everything. It's fine.
I have non-communication with them, so no. I don't know what else.
What time did they arrive?
Like I came here home like 5
p.m.
5 p.m. Yeah.
And what's your address, ma'am?
That's 425 Camino Oso. Yeah.
And how many people were in the house?
Just my son.
Okay.
Just my son.
Have they interviewed you?
Look, if they go in without a warrant, and I'm not saying that that's what they did. I don't know. Nobody knows.
Well, the detective just talked to me and asked me a question about my son-in-law, and I told the truth. He doesn't wear the clothes that you showed me in the video. He has nothing to do with that kind of clothes. He works in Tucson. He stays with his mom.
What about did you look at the eyebrows in the video?
Yeah, that's not him. Yeah, that's not him. I know that's not him.
The mouth?
Yeah, that's not him.
But they weren't. But they're not saying that was him in the video. They're saying that he was detained for something, or that he was being detained, and so I don't know.
I told them I can show you a picture of him right now. Yeah. But they took the phone away from me, so I don't have no way to show him pictures. I don't know. Yeah.
So that was Josefina, who is, again, the mother-in-law of the subject who is being questioned right now in connection with the Nancy Guthrie investigation. What a day it's been. I just want to backtrack a little bit and tell you some other things that happened. Back in Tucson, there was a massive FBI presence outside of Annie Guthrie's house. This afternoon went on for hours. Dozens of FBI agents searching around the house, searching neighboring yards. They were going door to door, asking for consent to get on people's property. And then once they were allowed on, they were searching in sheds. They were going under fences. One neighbor told me that an FBI agent told him that they were looking for something that may have been dropped. So there was a big scene at Annie Guthrie's house. We don't know if that connects somehow back to what's happening here.
I believe that upon the request you're supposed to give a copy of the warrant to the person whose property you're searching. They're supposed to have one. So upon request, yes, they're supposed to give her one.
Here, there was also at the sheriff's office, we saw the SWAT vehicles leave this afternoon, which was kind of put me on high alert, like what's going on. And I think that led up to this situation here in Rio Rico. So we don't know.
And you never know. It could have came from a tip, like a Crime Stopper tip or something like that.
for sure if this person is connected, although you're about to hear my interview with Steve Moore now, retired FBI agent, who's going to help me break all this down, that, the FBI doesn't just go raiding houses and getting search warrants if they don't have some kind of evidence that a person is likely connected, though we don't know at this point sort of what's going on behind the scenes, but it seems like there's a lot of movement. So this is my conversation with Steve. So I'm joined now by Steve Moore, former FBI agent. Thank you again, Steve. I'm in the car right now. We made it to Rio Rico, which is right near the border. And right outside the car here is the home where they're doing a search warrant right now for this, what they're calling a subject. First of all, what do you make of the word subject? Because they're not saying person of interest and they're not saying suspect.
Well, because FBI doesn't use the term subject as suspect, they use the term subject, which means the person that they believe is responsible for the crime. If the FBI is actually using that term, that means he's their guy.
Really?
Yeah.
So they're
is responsible for the crime. If they're actually the term subject as suspect, they use the term subject, which means the person that they believe is responsible for the crime. If the FBI is actually using that term, that means he's their guy.
What term?
Really?
Yeah.
So they're searching the house now. There's apparently a search warrant. We spoke to the subjects.
Okay, so Brian just said that their
mother-in-law who said
a search warrant. That's what. Oops, sorry. Hold on. That's what Enton just said.
Is that they?
Yeah.
So they're searching the house now. There's apparently a search warrant. We spoke to the subject's mother-in-law who says that they took her cell phone. They took everyone's cell phone who was in the house. What do you make of this development? I mean, do you think this is going to be substantial?
Well, judging from how confident the FBI is on this, I would say that they feel pretty confident in it. It's not a guarantee, and they know that, which is why they are gathering more information before they continue beyond the investigative detention. And investigative detention can only last a certain amount of time before it becomes kind of stale. And at that point, it's kind of considered an arrest, whether or not you say you're under arrest or not.
Are they allowed to keep someone detained? Like, could this person leave if they wanted to right now?
No, that's the point of investigative detention. But investigative detention is a very, very specific category, and it's really something the courts have looked at. So if you detain somebody for an interview or for investigation, you can't keep them 24 hours. That is no longer an investigative detention. And I'll bet all of you and most of your visitors or your viewers have been in an investigative detention.
Viewers or listeners, suspect or subject?
A car stop by the highway patrol. That is an investigative detention. You are not free to leave, but you are not under arrest.
Yeah, look, it is possible that. I mean, I agree with this too. It is possible. I don't know, but why let him go if you had something and you
when you're talking kidnapping, the whole
you had something, you wouldn't let him go.
Process has a little bit more gravity to it.
With the search warrant, what do you expect there? I mean, she told us they took all of their phones. What else would they be doing in the house right now?
Looking for those clothes and that gun and that whole.
What's dumb?
Looking for those gloves, anything like a shoe. I believe he was wearing some booties on his shoes, like a medical booty, something like that. There's going to be a lot of things, and they are going to look for any personal effects of Nancy Guthrie.
I haven't had a chance to talk to you since those pictures came out. What did you make of them? I mean, the fact, the gun in the front, the holster, the whole thing. Like, what was your takeaway?
It was kind of embarrassing. It was kind of like, I mean, the holster he had was for a long barreled revolver, kind of like the old Clint Eastwood gun from the Dirty Harry movies. But what he had in that holster was a little tiny semi-automatic that took up about a third of the whole
Yeah, the gun did not match the
holster and looked like it was falling out half the time. And he was wearing it basically under his.
I wouldn't be, this is just my opinion, but I would not be surprised if somebody called in a tip and they follow up on tips that they believe are credible. If they got a warrant, it sounds like Brian Hinton just said that they had a warrant. So
belt buckle, like it was hanging down like some kind of protection in front of him. And that would be like going to a ski lift with your jacket on backwards. People would just look at you and say, who is this clown? There was no reason for that except possibly to show the victim that he had a gun. To me, it shows me that he's never used a gun, never had a gun. And, that little pistol that he had, that didn't even come with a holster. So I don't even understand this.
All right. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. This is on the rest of this interview is on Brian Hinton's channel. I thank you guys so much for being here. I know people get really heated about, whatever. It's just whatever. I don't know what everybody gets so upset about. We don't know anything yet. We still don't know. It's been different. It's been a different night. I got to tell you that. So I don't know. All right, guys. Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys being here. There he is. I don't know. Did you deserve to be hidden? Did you enjoy it? Did you deserve it? I agree with you. I agree. I mean, I get it. I mean, I get that there is a pressing matter at hand. So, anyway, hug your family, call your mom, call your dad, tell them you love them. This is a terrible situation. It's just a terrible situation. I feel terrible for, people that, I don't know if he was wrongfully detained or whatever. I have no idea. All I know is that Nancy Guthrie, 84-year-old mother and grandmother, is still missing. And she's still missing, That's a terrible thing. So, yeah, I might be back before. I'll probably be back before that. I probably want to do a lab after dark, in the next day or so as well. So, yeah, and thanks, Kelsey gifted 5 memberships, and Jason, thank you, Jason. I appreciate it as well. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Sleep well.